What is up, everybody? It is your boy Lou Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a Thursday. Fireside Chats with Big Chief Burrito. We're talking Oscars predictions and previews tonight. Everybody loves certain people love the Oscars. Certain people love Oscar nominated films. Certain people are a fan of Oscar history. There's a lot of change recently in the Oscars. This Oscar movie season and award season covers almost a year and a half, the entire pandemic of a weird mix of films that are nominated for this year. Unlike other years, a big percentage of the films that have been nominated started off as streaming, as opposed to having to be in the theater for a certain amount of months. So it's going to be a weird telecast. It's going to be a weird award. But obviously, ever since you're a filmmaker, you start and you think, I want to win an Oscar. I've been practicing my Oscar speech for years in the mirror in the bathroom, taking a shower, whatnot. I'd like to thank the Academy, et cetera, et cetera. So, are you guys going to be watching? Or do you think it'll be a fun event? Who's your favorite film? Have you guys caught up with any of the nominees? Have you seen any of them? If so, let us know in the comment section. Tell us which ones you think are going to take the prize. And, hopefully if you have any questions about different films, we have a couple of learned guest filmmakers, actors, reviewers, influencers that are going to be part of the show today. So let's jump right into it. But I do have a question for the chat today, which is to win a 2 a.m. burrito prize that includes 2 a.m. burrito chatskis and 2 a.m. burrito stickers that I will send to you via the old school post office. And the question for the chat today is, if you could change the name of one movie that won an Oscar by changing one word in the movie to burrito, what would it be? Best answer, as voted on by me, Big Chief Burrito, will win a 2 a.m. burrito care package. Today, the reviewers, actors, and filmmakers that we have on are all competing for cash prizes. Well, a cash prize in my Oscar pool. If you want info, inbox me. But also an Oscar that's going to be awarded to the person that's part of this podcast today that makes the most correct predictions for Sunday night. So without further ado, and before I bore Shy Girl, who's in the background back here sleeping, let's bring on my guest from the indie darling White Ink, longtime 2 a.m. burrito collaborator, Miss Shelly Rowe.
What up, fam?
Why?
Just for you, Lou. Just for you.
What up, fam bam? All right, and Mr. The King of I, recently nominated to San Diego Film Awards for several films that he was in, Mr. Mark Atkinson.
King of I.
Official Rotten Tomatoes approved, established. Recently, Lin-Manuel Miranda slid into her DMs because of her coverage of the movie The Heights. And second time on the podcast, Miss at Rosa's Reviews. Miss Rosa Parra, how you doing today?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me. That's what I'm going to be known for them Miranda.
Yeah.
You're known for a ton of things, but that's just the most recent.
That's the stamp, yes.
She's been scientisting all day, and she still made time to come home. Scientist by day, movie reviewer, and influencer on Twitter by night. Look at her, leading the forefront, leading the charge for representation in the review industry by more Latinas, Latinx people.
Woohoo!
Thank you for joining us. And
Thanks.
this man is in not one, but two. He's in 2 Oscar-nominated films this year, and he's in a pilot. He's in a pilot for a show that I'm doing with me. But that's besides the point. But he's in 2. He's in freaking Mank. He got to work with his idol, Gary Oldman, and with David Fincher on a movie that's nominated for an Oscar. And he's my friend, Mr. Randy Davis.
What's up, guys?
I know we've been talking. Let me brag on.
Introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I do. I know that I don't need to brag on your accomplishments because everybody locally and I know your friends and family are aware of it. But when it was happening for you, Randy, like we talked about this when it happens. Like, man, make my David Fincher movie, Gary Oldman. Like we got a chance on this one, and then you're like, I'm in another movie that's pretty good too. That was all speculative.
Mhm.
But the reality is, two movies that you were in as an actor, regardless of the part, are nominated for Oscars. How are you feeling a couple of days before that actually happens?
I'm excited and bummed because I feel I feel Meg's gonna get the shaft. It might win a few production ones, but there's just the field is just too strong this year, and it's a very I hate to say it, but it's a very white guy movie. Which I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but it's just not. It's not going to win this year.
And yet it's White Boy Summer, so maybe the convolutance of those things kind of brings a perfect storm.
And it was during a misogynistic time in Hollywood, and the women aren't treated great in the film, so it's just not the right time.
Mank is definitely a movie that the old world Oscar voters from like 1902 to like 2010, like people who were ingrained as because they won an Oscar on My Fair Lady, 60 years ago. Or something like that, and then you were able to be a voter forever. Those are the type of movies that they loved, right?
Yeah, even them, I don't think it would get their vote because it's not really a love letter to Hollywood. It's very cynical. Well, I don't know how if they feel cynical about Hollywood, then they would vote for it. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say you were bummed because you and Mark couldn't like bum rush all the Hollywood parties, and you actually have a decent.
That's what I'm most bummed about this year.
That's you guys. These guys go to Hollywood all the time for the Emmys, the Gold Globes, everything. Sneak into parties, take pictures with celebrities.
Yeah, this is our season.
And this year, you actually have a good line to get in. Oh, I was in Mank. Like you don't even have to sneak in this year, Randy, and you can't go.
I'm gonna be watching the Oscars by myself at home with a tuxedo top and underwear on the bottom.
I'm gonna wear a you know what? I should have gotten a tuxedo T-shirt for this podcast. I'm still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that should have been my thing. But yeah, let's talk about Mank then, since that's kind of a movie that came out of the gun hot. Everybody was anticipating. It's Fincher. It's black and white. It's the story of another movie that was shafted in terms of Oscars. Right. We'll get to that later on. And the writing of Citizen Kane. But do you think, like you said, it's a movie that suffers definitely from the time that it's depicting and the time that we're in today? Like I said, it could be a movie that 15, 20 years ago Hollywood would love. But Rosa, as a reviewer, compared to the other films, did you also kind of get that same impression that it was a movie not of this time, so to speak?
That's an interesting question because I think the film suffers most from being such a niche film in terms that it feels like it's more aimed towards cinephiles and people who are very much embedded into Hollywood history. Me, for example, I watched it twice. I had to watch it twice. The second time I watched it, I had to watch it with subtitles. Because I was able to understand a little bit more what was going on. But I liked it since I'm going to film school and I am learning a bit about film history, and the film was very much depicting all of that. So to me, I did like it. This is actually one of the very first times the Academy Awards that all the films that are nominated for Best Picture, I very much like a lot. It was very difficult to rank them. But skewing away from that, I think Mank suffers from being just a film that's very niche, that it's aimed just towards a particular audience. A regular movie-going audience isn't necessarily going to like the film. They're either going to think it's too slow, or they're going to be like, who in the world are all these people? And
I mean, any other year, that would be a positive thing for a film. Because usually the ones that vote don't really care about who actually goes to the movies. I mean, we're honest.
Very true. Yes, that's very true.
This year is just weird.
Yeah. It's so long. It's the longest award season ever. And people are just fed up. They're just tired. And Mank is probably the last movie they have in it.
This is a crazy year to predict too, because like all the festival or the awards that have been like the the Independent Spirit, the Producers Guild, the SAG Awards, Golden Globes, all that. Like the winners are different. Like
yeah.
it's crazy.
And a huge jump in numbers. I mean, the amount of people that are part of the Academy and that actually vote. I was reading somewhere, don't ask me where, that from 2015 till now, it's like a jump of like 3,000 people, like there are members. So from like 6,000 to like 9,000 and something. So, in the last 6 years. So that's also a lot of more people and a lot more diversity, quote unquote, that is actually voting.
The main thing that they changed is that you didn't retain, like I said, old Hollywood used to love those movies because, or anything that used to depict old Hollywood because it's like, oh, the golden years. And like I said, if you won an Oscar in 1952, you could vote in 2022 if you were still alive. So they've taken away those restrictions. They've embraced that. They've embraced sort of a representation. They've put up new rules or guidelines. But one of the things that I think people forget and that people get up in arms about a lot in terms of like Oscars so white or Golden Globes so white or this and that is that each of these major awards has its own very set niche group of voters. The Golden Globes are the Hollywood foreign press, right there. So Europeans, etc., are going to have different takes and stuff like that. What, Randy? Go ahead.
Real quick, I gotta say something. So I got some Oscar swag I want to share. It's maybe I'll go grab it before we're done. But I got a giant coffee table book, and they sent it to members of the Hollywood Foreign Press, and some of the cast got this really cool coffee table book about the making of Mank, and I'm in there, so I thought that was cool. Anyway,
nice.
I gotta share my Oscar swag.
No, absolutely. But thanks for interrupting anyway.
It's reminding me of Hollywood Foreign Press.
Did I give you enough glowing praise at the beginning that you're going to cut me off mid-thought? I'm sorry. No,
that's all I'm going to get this year.
Hey man, true. You're not gonna be able to steal the soap from the Ritz, from getting into the parties this year. You're not gonna be able to steal a towel from the Beverly Hills.
One better thing than that. Having a bar.
But out of the, let's say, let's ask Mr. Atkinson here. Out of all the award show, which one do you think? Besides the Oscars, which of the other award shows do you feel carries the most weight or is the most important? Do you feel like like you could almost say like MTV Movie Awards is more important than like Golden Globes or something, right? Like which?
We're back in the day. This was fun for sure. I don't even. Do they still have those?
I think they do. I mean, I think they still give out like Best Kiss awards and stuff like that.
Okay. I think the Golden Globes are probably they're the funnest for me, and funnest.
Everybody's drinking.
They're the most fun. Everyone's drinking, and I don't know. I think they're just fun to watch. It celebrates movies and television as well. So I don't know. To me, I think that one's the better one. I guess the Spirit Awards, those are kind of fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Those will get you some cred if you get the Indie Spirit Award.
Yeah, they
Before
do.
I met my crash partner in crime there, Randy, I used to sneak into the MTV Movie Awards.
Oh, that'd be a fun one.
Like 15 years ago, yeah. But I'm way too old now. So.
We made it the back door of the what was the theater, the SAG Awards? We got to the back door there as it was ending. What was that?
You snuck into the SAG Awards?
We snuck through police barricades and got to the back door and with Black Panther cast and all those guys.
We can't do that this year.
We were wearing San Diego Film Award badges and turned it backwards.
All right. Well, hey, at least you get points for creativity on that.
Yeah, why not?
Now I know Randy puts Mank at like the front runner or hopefully the front runner for awards, but out of the 8 movies, out of the 8 movies that are nominated, I finally caught up on a lot of them, and I was just telling Rosa earlier that I watched the last 3 that I watched were Minari. I watched Minari, The Father, and
welcome.
Promising Young Woman last.
Loved it.
And I mean, I'm like the last person to the party for Promising Young Woman because this is a movie that came out again a while ago.
Yeah.
But but the fact that I thought I knew what I knew. Like I thought, like 5 days ago, I had Sound the Metal #1 as a lock. Sound the Metal up to this point was my favorite film. I thought it was excellently done, not only for best movie. I would bet my left arm on it winning best sound. Like
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
like I'm gonna ask you guys to do a parlay later. A parlay is when you pick two different teams to win. My parlay would be Sound of Metal #1. And who would be the second lock that you think?
Probably Nomadland.
No,
I'm
we're
not
not,
saying- I think
okay. Like last year, I knew that Brad Pitt was a lock. Brad Pitt was a lock for Best Supporting Actor. Like it was, you know, and
Chadwick Boseman is a lock for sure.
you think Boseman is a lock for Best Actor?
Well,
yeah, it's tough.
I don't think so anymore.
Really? He's cleaned up. He won the Golden Globe and then the momentum into the SAG Award.
I know, but the thing with the BAFTAs, and I think just the father coming out so late and
Anthony Hopkins killed it. Like,
doing such a great job in that film. I'm not saying that it's the right way to go. I'm just saying that I felt
not a
like
lot.
99.9% sure, you know, before this, and then I don't feel 99% sure anymore.
Oh wow!
I think
Yeah.
my other lock would be Yoo Jung Young from Minari. She played the older.
Yes, that one's a lock for me.
That if I wanted to make money on the Oscars this year, I would do her for Best Supporting Actor and Sound the Metal for Best Sound, and I would start
Animated.
and I would start spending my money from there.
I bet $1,000 on Jeff Bridges to win the year he won for the.
Really?
I worked at a casino, and when the odds are with them, to win 100. I was
wow.
sure. Yeah, I was so sure. I also won with Philip Seymour Hoffman too, for Capote.
Look at this guy. No,
Yeah.
that would be my lock.
Anymore, but I don't have that kind of money to burn.
But your lock would be Chadwick, right?
I think so. Yeah.
What about you, Rosa?
Lock, I think certainly director. I think Chloe Zhao is walking away with this.
Me too.
Yeah,
Now,
I think
there's also-
director's locked up. Yeah.
Director, Best Supporting. You think those are the ones? All right. Well, if you had a, let me know if you guys agree or disagree with the way I've ranked the top 8 movies. All right. Out of all the nominated, the one that I like the least was the Chicago 7. In as much as I sort of have I've seen the Sorkinism videos a lot of times and how he repeats a lot of his dialogue and stuff like that. So he makes a great script, but he's also a little hacky once in a while, and it sort of like turns me off a little bit. So I saw a little bit of that kind of stuff in the Chicago 7. I thought it was interesting. It was well made. Nothing about it stood out to me. I thought it was a fine movie. I didn't think it was Oscar caliber at all. After that, Minari. Minari struck me as sort of like almost like The Remains of the Day or The English Patient. One of those movies that
The English Patient.
The English Patient that gets nominated. That's because it's a nice family story. There's nothing extravagant or crazy about it. But what's important about it is that it's an American and a Korean American story. And the great part about it is that we need more films like that. So obviously I think that's the important thing about the film. Although I didn't think it was out of this world where it like made me feel a certain type of way. So I think those are the bottom 2. The Father was hard for me to watch, obviously because I take care of my elderly dad, even though he plays 18 hours of poker a day, so he's still mentally there. But it still was, if you got any sort of daddy thing situation issues, it's definitely
it's pretty hard to watch. Yeah,
it's definitely gonna fucking like get you. The same reason, but this is the big up. Another movie that made me feel a certain way is I Care a Lot, which is a complete trashy piece, which is a complete piece of shit, trash, like horrible movie. Like the entire movie, I kept saying I couldn't stand that movie. The entire film, I was like, the entire movie in my mind, I'm like, this fucking sucks. The music sucks. The story sucks. The fucking theme sucks. Like the entire time I hate watching it the entire night.
That's the one with the mean woman, right? That was doing bad things to old people.
Yeah, it was Girl Boss. It was Girl Boss. It was like, oh, they're like, yeah, but there's movies about men that are assholes that people love, like anti-hero. I get the anti-hero. The movie was just bad, in my opinion. I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is, it's something that triggered me because it's about elder abuse, obviously.
Yeah.
But, and then this is the father has a similar theme, but the movie was amazing because it was a well done film.
Yeah.
Sorry, side rant there on I Care a Lot, but I hated it. So it was hard to watch, but I could understand. I can understand why this movie coming out late threw a wrench in the lock that most people thought that Chadwick had on Best Oscar. Because Anthony Hopkins is a fucking beast. We all know he's a beast. Is he a big enough beast that
take down the Black Panther?
To take down the Black Panther?
I think the legacy thing is the bonus for Chadwick. I think.
I agree with Randy.
Anthony Hopkins has won an Oscar, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Silence of the Lambs, man.
And he's still in relatively good shape. He could win another one. Like Anthony Hopkins is going to be just as good as he was in The Father.
Yeah.
As he was in Transformers, but it's a different movie, obviously, right? So if we gave Anthony Hopkins, if Anthony Hopkins won an Oscar for Transformers, that would have been funny.
What was that dopey movie when he was like a gorilla?
What? A gorilla?
About?
Oh, I love that movie. Instinct. You don't like that? Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, Instinct.
It was like a crazy long-haired Hannibal Lecter. Got pencils and stuff.
So the father. That's kind of how I felt about that. Let me get through this, and then we'll venture off. So after that, I have Nomadland. Now, I think that it is pretty close to a lock for the director because anytime you go out there with a minimal crew and you get like cinematography as well, the visuals of Nomadland are like incredible.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll win for writing or screenplay because of all the improvised stuff that they did. So I think it's hard for them.
Also, they really did it. It's for adapted, and the book. It's not like they adapted the book. It's like, oh, let me read the book and kind of get this idea, and then let's just run with it. So it's not really adapted.
So I don't know how big of a sticklers they are. I do think that for Best Director they have it. I like the movie. I can see the brilliance in it, and Frances is an incredible actress.
Oh, she's
so I think she makes the film with just the way she looks at nothing,
She's by Hollywood too. Like, she'll come to the Oscars with messy hair and like baggy pants and.
Yeah,
I love her.
I love her. Plus, she smokes tons of weed. So good for her. She was on the cover of High Times a while back too. So again, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I love watching it, but I don't feel like it was transcendent to me. Like if it's an Oscar winner, I want it to feel like incredible, After that, because I am a cinephile and I do love old movies, Mank. Mank I think makes the top 3 for me, makes the top 4 for me, because my friend was in it too, so I got to put it in the top 4. But also because Fincher using a mix of older movie techniques and filming techniques along with modern technology. Like I said, it's for lovers of cinema. I think that's my number 4. Judas and the Black Messiah, I thought was incredible. I think that
I agree with
that he didn't get a nomination for Best Actor and instead only got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor was one of the weirdest snubs this year.
That's so weird, right?
Actors, like who's the lead then?
The dude from Breaking Bad, whatever his name is, I don't know.
He's the lead, you think?
Daniel Cole.
Yeah, they were considering him the lead because they gave him a Best Supporting Actor. So unless so that's
wait. So who got Best Supporting? Who got Best Actor nom?
Nobody got nominated for Best Actor for that one. I don't believe.
Right. Supporting?
Yeah.
Daniel Kaluuya.
But yes, Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield both got nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Daniel Kaluuya won Best Actor at the SAG Awards. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can make a case that Lakeith Stanfield should have been Best Actor as well.
Oh no, Chadwick Boseman won Best Actor at SAG. It was a supporting, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's weird.
Um, and then I had Sound of Metal #1 because when I saw it, I thought this movie is a lock for sound. This movie is incredible, and I also really really liked Riz Ahmed for lead actor.
Yeah.
But then I saw Promising Young Woman,
Uh,
which I had purposely sort of avoided all the because it came out and I was like I don't have time to watch it, and then this whole conversation rose up about it, and then like even like Shelly, I think we were talking about it on like Claudia's thing one day, like just you guys had seen it or something, and we were talking about, and I was just like,
brilliant.
I thought it was incredibly well done. It made me kind of try, I like to kind of record what I'm thinking. Like, every time I'm like, what is this movie? What's this? What is going on? Like, there's movies that make you kind of be like, what's going on? And I really really enjoyed it. So that's where I put. I got Promising Young Woman #1, Sound of Metal #2, Judas 3, Mank 4, Nomadland, The Father, Minari, and The Chicago 7. Rosa, how do you feel about that order from you? Is like the my favorite.
One Night in Miami wasn't.
No.
One Night in Miami should have been nominated instead of The Chicago 7.
Totally.
And also the Oscars should have an ensemble cast Oscar, and they should have won.
Me and Atkinson saw Promising Young Woman on accident. We went to see the new Liam Neeson movie, The Marksman, and it was the double feature. We were like, "Wow, this is actually better than the Neeson movie." Well,
Huh?
Really?
yeah, it was the
Carrie Mulligan.
yeah. She dressed up like a nurse and went and took out those frat boys.
We went as like a big. There was a bunch of us. We went as a big group.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for the Liam Neeson movie though.
Oh, I was.
Okay, so
about the other one.
All right,
Wow.
I'm not here for the Liam Neeson movie, which was.
Oh, okay.
Oh man,
so
it was a
you
surprise, so it was really good. Anyway,
but there was a bunch of us. Though. There was like 10 or 12 of us.
yeah.
so you enjoyed it, is what you're saying, Mark?
Liam Neeson one. What was it?
We're talking about Oscar
We missed
nominated
the
movies
first 45
today.
minutes.
Well, it should have been. No, yes, Promising Young Woman. I did like. Yes.
Okay, and now Rosa, what did you think about my ranking of the top 8 movies there?
I mean, it's good, I guess.
What do you-
Mine certainly.
Do you agree, or what do you differ on me for?
Yeah, mine are probably all over the place. My favorite movie out of the 8 actually is Nomadland. I think that film, again, it's visually gorgeous, but at the same time, it did hit me, the exploration of grief, and her literally just traveling and throughout. I think it probably hit more because we are in quarantine, so it's more of an escapism kind of film for me. And so, yeah, my favorite movie out of here, it's Nomadland, followed by Promising Young Woman. I love Promising Young Woman. That movie just killed. That soundtrack. I've been listening to that soundtrack since I watched the film. It's just, I love it. I love everything about that movie. And then I actually have The Father on my number 3 spot. I think The Father is certainly a movie that does put Anthony's situation and dementia into a perspective that it does leave you thinking. It leaves you wondering. It certainly has that impact, and I'm sure it's more impactful if you are caring for an elder like a father like he is. And I don't know. I would probably. I personally have my last spot. I actually have Mank my last spot, and it's not because it's a bad film, because like I said earlier, I love all of these films. All of these movies are very much, at least my top 15 movies out of the out of 2020, my list, and I must have watched like 125 movies, so top 15 is not that bad. Yeah. So yeah. I'm telling you, these movies, they're pretty darn good. So they're not separated by much, to be honest with you. It's quite difficult to rank them. Yeah, Sound of Metal certainly is up there too. Minari, I watched it back at Sundance, which was almost over a year ago, and I did get to experience the buzz that was first coming out. It did get some awards back at Sundance 2020. So it's not surprising to see it here and get all the loving and all the love that it's getting. Certainly deserving of it.
You recently saw The Heights because you reviewed
What?
it. You saw The Heights recently because you got to.
In the Heights? Yes.
Okay, if The Heights were in the mix for best Oscar, do you think that it's better? Do you think that it's better than any of your like top 5, or do you think it's a really good movie, but you wouldn't put it like in the top 8 for Oscar if it was in competition this year? Would it be able
these
to?
films?
Yeah, would you think it would knock any of these movies out of the top 8 in your opinion?
Oh my God, you're putting me on the spot.
That's what I do, Rosa.
I know. I know. It would probably be up there, probably top 6.
Okay.
Because In the Heights, it's more of a fun and vivid and just it's a musical. It's completely different from any one of these films, and it's difficult to compare and rank each one of them. But yeah, I think it's better than Trial and Mank, sadly.
Better than Mank.
And I even think it's Sound of Meadows too good. Huh?
I'm kidding.
Sorry.
No.
But yeah,
it's okay.
it's different type of vibe and different energy in terms comparing them to all these films. So it will be a bit difficult.
You think we're gonna hear? We think you're gonna hear about it Oscar buzz for 2022?
I hope so, but I'm afraid it might lose some spotlight and some shine from West Side Story from Spielberg.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that I was going to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm really scared of.
Kind of along the same lines, right? I mean, the story from what I've seen from the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. So we're getting 2 Latino musicals in 1 year.
Exactly.
Wow. Oh, we're swimming in riches. Look at us. Woohoo.
Spielberg better come out. I mean, Spielberg never disappoints, but you're making a remake of I assume West Side Story won an Oscar. I mean, it's
sure.
Yeah.
It's a tough order to.
Is Rita Moreno in it?
She's in both.
Yeah, she is. She's in both. I mean, she won for the original one, and she's in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's
I just hope it's not going to be like Gus Psycho.
I just saw her recently, and she looked really good. She's like,
she's badass. She's something else.
She's in her 80s. They interviewed her and said, "What do you want in the next year? What are you looking forward to?" She says, "Staying alive because I'm old." Like, it was just the coolest answer. She's like, "Living another year
tomorrow." I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
All
right. So all that being said, what's your pick this year for Best Picture? Let's start with Mr. Atkinson.
I think Nomad. All right, these are who we think's going to win or who should win.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean,
those are very different answers.
What you put into the pool is what you think will win because that's a competition, right? But like I said, Rosa, myself, some people can't. Like if the Knicks are playing, I'm gonna pick the Knicks even if they're playing the Nets, even though they might beat them by 100 points because I'm a fan, right? Boise State plays Alabama. Randy's still gonna pick Boise State even though they're gonna get blown out. So
they beat Georgia.
There's voting with your heart and voting with your brains, right? So who do you?
Always bet on Brady. I think Nomadland's gonna be the one that wins.
There you go. Brandon hits says Mank. You think Nomadland is going to win? All right. How about you, Shelly?
You know what? No, I'm gonna put my money on Promising Young Woman. Even though I know it's splitting the vote, and some people are gonna rank it last, and some people are gonna rank it up top, and it's never gonna get the percentage. But still, I'm gonna go for that one. I loved it. I think it's different.
That was my favorite one, but I don't think it's gonna win. But yeah.
Well, if it's her favorite movie, like that's what I was thinking about after because I saw it last. Out of all the movies, I saw it last, and I was like, this just fucks up my whole thought process because I was like, maybe it's overrated, maybe it's just oh
wow,
maybe it's topical, maybe because it's a woke movie. I don't know what it is, but I thought maybe it's not as good as everybody will say it, but I saw it and I was like, why can't this win? And most people seem to think that it's either Nomadland or The Father. I've seen Some Promising Young Woman, but it might suffer from different things. But Rosa, who are you picking?
Okay, my favorite is Nomadland out of this 8, but I'm actually picking The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Really?
I think that film certainly defines what 2020 was.
Yeah.
And I think it's the safest choice to go with in terms
Wow,
of
really? Wow.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him, right?
Wow.
Nobody expected Green Book. That was kind of out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Oh, I have a lot of issues with that. Yeah.
Hey, it'd be nice. We and Atkinson have history with
Green Book.
Brando says Mank will win cinematography and Minari will win actor. That's a good one. So and then Lou Martinez, who do you think? Well, I think that I'm gonna vote for the movie that I thought was ranked the best, and I'm gonna vote for Promising Young Woman. Because I think it's the best movie. I think it's the most well made. It's modern. It's a mix of really stuff that we need to see. I love that they cast against type with all these dudes that are funny in TV shows and stuff, and making them all creeps. I think it's like it's a movie, that I'm supposed to just shut up and just be like, yeah, I get it. It's fucking dope, but and it's a well-made movie, and it's long, and you're like, and it gives you twist, and it puts you in a situation where like, I don't want that to happen. Why does this movie have to give me this twist right now? Why? And then you're like, there's still 20 minutes left. What the fuck is this? What's going on?
How about Clarence Brown as the dad?
What?
Who?
Clarence Brown as the dad. We're talking about casting against type.
Oh, Clancy Brown, right?
Clancy Brown, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. So I think that it can win, but like I said, if you were voting with your heart, you'd vote for Nomadland, but you're voting for the Chicago 7. Look at Rosa going out on the limb, right?
Nice.
I think that's a safe number.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you think?
I really hope I am.
Do you think they will give it to Chadwick Boseman? All right, well, let's move on to Best Actor. Right, that's the conversation. Like when I
gotta have a pick.
Yeah, when I said Riz
Randy
Ahmed,
Mankiewicz.
yeah, when I said Riz Ahmed was the favorite, is because it was the first movie I saw. But then Mank, I said Gary Oldman gets too many awards. Stephen Young, obviously, he's an incredible actor from millions of things that we've seen him in, Walking Dead, etc. I was paying attention to him particularly while I was watching Minari, and he did an incredible job. Until I saw The Father.
Yeah.
I saw Riz Ahmed in Sound of Metal, and I thought he was a lock until I saw Minari, and I said Stephen Young went above and beyond. This is an incredibly subtle but well done portrayal.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman already has his thing. Chadwick Boseman is the emotional heartstrings, and Anthony Hopkins is the talent, right? The talent, but he also is still alive and could win multiple Oscars every year. He could be nominated every year.
I mean, Chadwick Boseman, yes, I will say yes is the heartstrings, but he did a fantastic job with that character.
In Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
Yeah, because I think, that's a play, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily translate to, to the screen, depending on what you're doing. And it was so unnerving and uncomfortable and just so addictive to me to just be trying to figure out what he was going to do next. It just everything. I thought he did if he wins, I'm not going to say like, oh, it was just like heartstrings. I think
Can't you just give him a Can they give him a Tony? Can they just be like, this was essentially a stage play? Can we just give him a Tony? I think any other year these two go up against each other, Anthony Hopkins wins based on the performance.
I agree.
Based on the performance, I think. But this particular year, I would go with Anthony Hopkins. But if I was going with what I believe the best performance was, I would be going with Anthony Hopkins. Who do I believe will win? I believe Chadwick would win. And do you agree, Randy?
Yeah, that's the one I would bet money on. Even though Hopkins killed it, like Heath Ledger won for the Joker. That night. It's
I still say, why so serious? 12 years later, 13 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rosa, do you agree as well?
Yes, actually, yeah, Hopkins is my favorite out of these five, but they both give the performance of their careers. So
They
I
do.
don't think it's undeserving if it goes to Boseman. But yeah, he's been winning all the awards, the Golden Globes. Yeah, so except for the BAFTA.
every speech his wife gave was so heartfelt.
Yes.
And like,
Yeah.
it's got to tug on the voters too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think this is a lock for Chadwick.
Yeah.
All
Was
right.
he
And
nominated for something else for best supporting, like a SAG award or something like that, or maybe a Golden Globe for
The Five Bloods.
yeah.
I'm not
he
sure.
didn't,
I
he
don't
didn't win though.
remember.
I did not enjoy the Five Bloods.
No, I can't believe.
That's not great.
I
mean,
liked it.
I rep Spike till I die, obviously, but it wasn't like I wasn't.
I
I
love it.
can't say I didn't enjoy it. I did. It was. I mean, I kind of had an idea of what I was going to watch, so
Right.
it wasn't. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Spike in his old age is getting super experimental, and he's getting like he's like let's just mix it all together. He's like
Good for him.
he's like going into Scorsese territory almost. But yeah, the choices, but it's Riz Ahmed, Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, or Stephen Young, and I think that it's down to Chadwick or Anthony. I think right.
Yep.
Brenda, we don't talk about the Old Boy remake. That is the film that shall not be made. There was no reason to make that. Yeah, that's another. I don't know. I love Spike, but I don't know. And then I saw Promising Young Woman, and I was like, man. But then I saw that I still hadn't watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and so I watched that. And then I was like, oh my God, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Is
we're going to go into that category, which is the crazy one out of the entire award season right now. All right, you're right. Yeah, all right, let's go into it.
All right, and then another movie that Randy was in, United States versus Billie Holiday, where you played what, Randy?
Senator Joseph McCarthy.
You played Joseph McCarthy in this movie.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
My lines didn't make it in the final cut. So
it's all right. You're still
longer
getting
cut coming out. So.
Randy got snubbed. I got to be honest with you. They should have gave him one line at least, two maybe.
Had 5 lines. All none of them made the final cut.
Cold World, Cold Game. They what else? What did they cut? Who did they cut? They cut Artie Lang out of what's the movie they cut out of Jerry Maguire, right? Mark Atkinson. They cut
That's right. Yep. Great. Meet Tom Cruise. He's doing like jumping jacks and like jump rope in the corner and all that stuff, getting ready for a scene.
That's crazy. All right, but yeah, this is the one that's up next on my sheet. So let's jump into it. I mean, this is the conversation, right? Viola Davis, Andra Day from United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman, Frances for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. For me, it's Viola, Frances, or Carey, right? I think Andra Day and Vanessa Kirby, those are a little bit behind the other two. Do you agree, Rosa?
Statistically, yes. If we're looking into stats and we're looking, yes, they are. Although personally, my favorite performance out of these 5 is Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. Man, did she kill it, and she nailed it.
That's a fucking hard role to play. She played it to perfection.
Yes,
I agree.
But yes, I think right now it is a race between McDormand and Davis and Mulligan, and it depends on what strategy you put into what you're going to be selecting. If you're going to be going based on which of these films are nominated for Best Picture, then Viola Davis is out because Ma Rainey is not in contention for Best Picture. And then if you go into, Frances McDormand already has these Oscars, so yeah, they're probably not going to give it to her. Yeah, still, we can use that because we already know what happened with Glenn Close and Olivia Colman not that long ago. And same thing with Mulligan because she does not have an Oscar yet. So it depends on what strategy you decide to go for it. Me, my choice here is Viola Davis. I think her performance, even though it's the one that she's not out of all these, out of all these nominees, she's not on screen for all of the film like the other ladies are. I do think that her performance, because it is that transformative performance that the Academy tends to love a lot. She actually gained weight, but she didn't gain enough weight that she needed a fat suit for this performance. So I think those little touches into her performance and literally having to sing, that's what the logic I'm using for this, for choosing Viola Davis for Best Actress. But frankly, I would not be surprised if it goes to any of the other women, except for Kirby. I know she's not going to get it.
What about you,
Yeah.
Shelly? What do you think?
So I agree with Rosa with Kirby. Vanessa Kirby is just like something else. Andrea Day, she's also doing that whole transformative kind of thing, and she actually has an arc, in the entire film, because the film is following her, and Viola is not necessarily like out of the five. I don't think she necessarily has a full arc but Viola is like, she's fantastic. So yeah, I think she's a shoe-in. Frances, I'm in love with her, so and Carrie, the one thing about Carrie is that I think that I loved Promising Young Woman, but I do think that without her, the movie wouldn't be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that she carried that film. I'm not saying that everything else wasn't great. I'm just saying that because of how it was written, it was about her experience. And if it was any other actress or doing something else or not doing such a good job, the movie wouldn't hit the same way that it hits. So I give her props for that. Like, as an actor, being able to carry that film. I don't know if they're going to give it to her. She won critics, and then Viola won SAG, and then Frances won the BAFTA, and then Andrea won Golden Globe.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Dang.
And then Kirby, what was it, like Venice Film Festival or something, like nothing,
Yeah.
none of the the big ones. So yeah, I think it's super split. Yeah, but like Carrie wasn't in the BAFTAs. Right? So I do think that maybe she would have gotten that one if she was nominated for the BAFTAs. I don't know. So I'm giving it in my soul to Kirby, and in my votes, I'm gonna say Carrie, just because I'm gonna stick with being very promising to the entire sheet, and hopefully I do. But I do think that Viola might get it, if I'm honest.
Viola and Frances have both won Oscars, though, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm
Well,
basing.
Viola
For
got
supporting.
supporting when she did Fences, which I don't think she was supposed to be supporting, because I think she was a co-lead in the film, but that's a
Right.
whole other conversation. But she doesn't have one for a lead role.
What did Frances go for? Fargo?
Fargo, yeah.
Fargo and Three Billboards.
3 billboards.
3 Billboards, so deserving, such an amazing.
Shit, I might have changed my vote.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm hearing from you guys, because I haven't seen Pieces of a Woman or United States versus Billie Holiday. So those those are like the next on my list of ones that I want to catch up on. So I can't really speak on those two. Frances and Viola have both won Oscars. If we're looking at it from a total cynical voter standpoint, if they're giving a lot of Oscars so white, right? So if they're giving a lot of awards to minorities and other categories, this might be one for the whiteys. I mean, in terms of like this might be, like if we're looking at it completely cynical, which is but in this case, I believe it would be completely deserving. She hasn't won an Oscar. She carries the film. The film is different without her. She is on film for like 95% of that movie. She's the entire heart, soul structure of the film, and she's really a badass character. Somebody that's broken, but that makes a strong decision about what to do about it with her life, and like puts her life on the line for something she believes in. And it's also a movie and a performance for our time, also because of important kind of changes and attitudes towards what we perceive as rape culture and other shit like that. So it's obviously it was a movie. It was a conversation starter. It's something people needed to watch, and I think that the Academy gives this one to Carey Mulligan, I think, or at least that's my choice. Black Bottom seemed to me it reminded me a lot of Fences. Obviously, they're both plays, etc., and stuff like that. I felt it was a strong performance, but I don't feel like it's her strongest performance. Or I believe this is Carey Mulligan's like. And Frances McDormand is obviously qualified to win this Oscar. She's a fucking beast.
You can just give her everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think that I know, and the vote's been split. And everybody's won one, so it's like, what's going to happen? I don't know. Myself, I think I'm going to go with Carey Mulligan on this one. You guys are going with Viola. Frances is also strong. Mark and Randy, what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm going with Frances, but I wouldn't be disappointed if Viola wins. But
yeah,
you're right. She does have a smaller part in the whole movie. So I don't know. I'd be happy if Carey Mulligan wins too.
If this was most valuable actress instead of best actress, like most valuable, there's no Carey and Frances, because they're the two that the movies sort of center around the most, and then Andra Day, obviously. But I think, man, this is a tough category.
It is the crazy one this year.
She's a fellow Rhode Islander too. So
who's that?
Viola Davis. She's from Central Falls, Rhode Island.
Okay, so you're going with your hometown hero.
Nah, I'm gonna go with Frances.
And Randy, are you gonna go with the movie that left you on the cutting room floor?
She was so good. If I were a voter, I would vote for Andra Day, because I mean, she was transformative. She's someone who didn't drink or smoke or even have sex. I heard her in an interview. She said, "I started drinking, smoking, and having sex." Like, I just thought that was an odd thing to say, but what she did with her voice, like, because I've heard her talk, she has like raspy, like she just soaked in all the interviews. Like, I mean, I know more about the movie.
You do it all the time, Randy.
Yeah, but she just, I feel like she just embodied everything I've seen of Billie Holiday, like every interview or song, and a lot of people do those biopics, and they clearly bring themselves to the role, but because she hadn't done much acting, it was like she was transformative. She became someone else. If I were voting, I would vote for her, but if I had to bet money on it, I'm going to pick Viola. I just think she's the one who's going to pull it out. So that's my pick.
All right. Seems like Viola's the consensus choice, but I don't know, man. I think Frances, Carey, it's going to be. I think this is the one this might be the stay away from it. If I was going to be like, should we gamble on this? This might be the one that I skip. Like, you know, I'm going to just double up on my Sound of Metal for Best Sound Award. Did you get to act in it? Did you get to act in any scenes with Saturday, Randy?
No, my scene was with Garrett Hedlund. It was a senator hearing where he's trying to get money to basically stop the civil rights movement. But I think what happened when my lines got cut.
Oh, look at that guy! There he is.
Ooh,
Bernie. It wasn't Bernie Sanders in the empty chair there next to Tuppence Middleton.
There's Mr. Randy Davis in Mank. No, sorry, I didn't mean.
It dealt with our conversation dealt with the senators being mad that Billie Holiday's singing this song and it's fueling the civil rights movement. So most of my dialogue was actually about the civil rights movement itself, and they cut all of that. There was another senator who had 2 lines. They cut all of his, and they focused it down to just Billie Holiday's drug addiction and the song she was singing. So yeah, long story short, no, I didn't.
Makes sense.
100 days.
Hey! At least I like to hear the reasoning behind people's choices. So glad you're not. You know, that's gonna happen to any actor. You know, you go out there for parts, you're gonna get left on the cutting room floor.
It's happened a couple times, but that was a tough one.
Yeah, it's all right. All right, let's move on to Best Supporting Actor. This is kind of what typically used to be reserved for minorities, or different things where they would be like, yeah, we'll give you a Best Supporting. This is Marissa Tomei. The whole thing about whether or not they said the right name for her envelope, that's a big Oscar mystery, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a couple, Glenn Close going for number 1, Hillbilly Elegy. Olivia Colman in The Father, who did an incredible. She's the British Shelley Rowe, so she's definitely part of the conversation there. Amanda Seyfried in Mank, although the role and who she played, that's kind of, you can have the same conversation that you had about Mank, where the people are appreciative of the talent that it took to
I
play
think
that
she
role.
did a great job. I really do.
You're a fan.
Transformative too, I thought.
With what she had, like her character, I think she did a good job. I really do.
Yeah, and she's proven to be an incredible actress
I
throughout her
like her a
career.
lot.
Yeah, she's awesome. And the other character, the elderly woman from Minari, Yu Jung Young. I don't want to say the name, Yu Jung Young. I don't know. And Maria Bakalova from Borat's subsequent movie film, which another,
Kind of an odd choice.
which I
She's
mean, she
great.
did a great job.
She did.
Yeah.
She took one for the team with that scene with Giuliani too. So
Yeah.
but were you leaning on this one, Mr. Atkinson? You going with the comedy? You're going with Mank? What are you going with?
I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I'm going with the elderly woman from Minari, probably. But I don't know how to pronounce the other girl's name from Borat either. But I think there's something to be said for that she got nominated, though.
Yeah.
Comedy, usually gets.
And a mostly improv comedy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it was a real situation, and she was, I don't know if you heard the stories. Like Sacha Baron Cohen was actually in like this closet in the hotel room. I don't know. Like I think something's to be said for that. So those are my two right there.
All right, Rosa, what do you think?
Yes, I'm in that same boat. I think Ya Yoon, I cannot pronounce it. I am
Sorry,
terribly
apologies.
sorry. From Minari has it, and if somebody is too upset, it will be Maria Bakalova. I was in everything that she went through, and the fact that it is all improv, and she was able to stay toe to toe with someone like Sacha Baron Cohen, who's been doing this for years. It certainly speaks volumes of what she's capable of doing. So yeah, I would go with Minari.
Glenn Close has never won an Oscar, though.
Oh wow.
I would
But I
be
don't think this is the
Movie.
one.
No,
I
that-
hope she does not win for this. And
Hey.
this is coming from someone who's lukewarm with Hillbilly Elegy. I'm one of the very few people who gave it a slightly lukewarm review,
Wow.
and I got hated for it. And I thought her performance was quite good. But yet again, Glenn Close. That's what we said with the previous. That's what we said with what was the movie she was
trying to get the pronunciation, Shelly?
Yeah, because I want to make sure that we, say her name.
Oh,
Yu Jung Young. I
Yes,
don't know.
Yu
Yeah.
Jung Young, something like that. All right,
Yeah.
close enough. But no, so sorry, Rosa. So you're feeling that that even though Glenn Close is well, like, this is what I'll say. Martin Scorsese won his Oscar in directing for The Departed, which is like his
Right.
8th best film. But it still counts. He didn't win it for Taxi Driver. He didn't win it for he didn't win it for any of these other incredible films.
Yeah.
Goodfellas, etc. He won it for The Departed, which
Right.
is kind of like a cheesy. It's kind of like a cheesy blockbuster version of a Scorsese film. So
That's a good description.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. There's nothing wrong with The Departed. Leonardo gives an incredible performance. It's a good movie, but it's not. It's not The Wolf of Wall Street. It's, you know what I mean. So Hollywood does sometimes give you a give back. Glenn Close has been incredible in a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Olivia Colman. I think, like I said, I think the Minari is a lock on this one, because I believe that Minari is. I mean, and again, I'm looking at this. You got to remember, I was pretty lucky in the 90s. I had friends who were part of the Academy that were friends of my family, so they would give me boxes and boxes of movies. Right. They would give me, literally, I would go to their house for Christmas, and they would have boxes of tapes of screeners, VHS tapes of screeners, and they would just take whatever you want. And I saw Rushmore like 6 months before it was released, and I saw all these other really cool movies before they were released. It was super cool to be. Now people like Rosa get the screeners via their email, and they won't share them with me for some reason. It's all right. I understand there's logistics, but you can slip me one or two. That's all right. It's not going to hurt nobody.
They have, they're coded. Like all my screeners have my sign number behind
I
it.
got a VPN. It'll look like somebody from Russia's watching it. Don't worry about it. Don't. Of course, I hide my IP. What do you think? What do you think this is? I'm just kidding. But so sometimes the Academy can make choices, and the old voters would make choices like say, listen, we're not going to give Minari Best Director, we're not going to give Minari Best Picture, we're not going to give it this, but it's a good movie. We put, basically for them, putting it into Best Picture and not Best Foreign Picture is probably like, here, we're not putting you under, but you know what I mean? So if I'm going cynical, Lou, on this one, I'm thinking that Yu Jung is going to be the winner because she did a great performance. Is it better than Olivia Colman in The Father? It's a different performance. It's a different movie. Man, I think Olivia Colman did an incredible job in The Father, but Anthony Hopkins, because you needed somebody that good to play off of Anthony Hopkins when he's in the scenes with the other girl that plays the Anthony Hopkins is. You get in a ring with Anthony Hopkins, right? Oh, hold on a second here. So now we lost Randy, but we got Mark back. Okay.
Hey, now I'm back.
Hey, look at this guy. Hollywood Randy.
Look at that, Mr. Mank.
So again, I think that's the money, but man, you can't go wrong with Olivia Colman. I think myself that would be, or Amanda Seyfried as well. But I think for this one, I think we can agree that for whatever reason, based both on their performance and on the history of Hollywood voting, that Minari and Yu Jung is going to be the one that wins that. All right.
Yeah.
This is the one that I'll be getting my Oscar in eventually. Best Director. Here's another picture from Mr. Davison's. Here's Mr. Davison with Mr. Gary Oldman. Look at that. Look at that.
That's my background.
Huh?
Make that my background.
Yeah, you should make that your background. There you go. Yeah.
All
All right, Best Director. Mr. Atkinson, you're a director. You've made films. What directing performance this year of the movies did you feel was the biggest? Was the best?
I don't know how to say her name.
Chloe.
Nomadland.
Chloe's out.
Chloe's
Yes,
out.
Chloe. Yes. No Man Land.
What was it? What was it you think that did it for you?
I guess. I mean, honestly, it's kind of a documentary. You kind of threw Francis McDormand in the middle of it, but I don't know. I just think that she's the shoe-in. I think she's going to win. She's on the block. Maybe if it was like 1996, it would go to Fincher, but not. So I just think he's going to win it.
All right, fair enough. Shelly.
Yeah. I'm on the Chloe train. I think there's something to be said about the cinematography, and clear that it was like, two heads thinking at, moving as one with directing and cinematography. It's beautiful. I think she, even though like Frances is amazing, but I think there's a lot, you can still feel her as a director through the entire film. And I was experiencing everything through Frances's eyes, but I was experiencing whatever she wanted me, like whatever Chloe wanted me to experience. That was very clear. Yeah. I loved her work. I love the film. I think she deserves it. I'm excited for her to get it. I really do.
Yeah, there's definitely a feel. There's definitely like I felt like a lot of it was just, and I saw some of the making of videos where she's kind of talking about how she had Frances like the pictures she had were her actual pictures from her childhood and her family to give her like personal things inside of the van and stuff like that. And I felt like that's something that as a director I would aspire to just have that connection. You, the camera, the actor. And at its most basic, here's the way I see it. Which which of these do I wish I would have directed? And that would be Nomadland. That would be the movie that I wish I had directed. Second place would be Promising Young Woman. And then Mank after that, because I'd love to be David Fincher. But I think that this is another one that's close to a lock, because at the purest definition of what a director does, that this is what this movie is. You know, she finds the mood, she finds the pacing, she finds the visuals. So this might be a lock for a director and cinematography. I think if I was going to say who would be the long shot, Fincher has a ton of friends in Hollywood. You know, Fincher has a ton of friends in Hollywood.
Like the Scorsese, they gave it to Scorsese for.
Like I said, Scorsese got it for The Departed, and you know, shit happens. Shit happens in Hollywood. Randy, where do you put? I mean, taking yourself out of it, where do you put Mank on the Fisher sort of echelon? You know,
that's a good question.
It's not one of my favorite Fincher movies. I mean, good for him.
Do you put it ahead of Seven?
No, definitely not. So Fight Club, probably Fight Club, Seven, Social Network.
Do you put it again? Do you put it in front of his like Netflix series?
Mindhunter? No, I love that show. It's different.
Is it better than Panic Room?
Yeah, I'd probably put it right above Panic Room. Maybe I'm a little biased, but
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I would put it before that.
Gone Girl.
I would put it before Gone Girl.
Okay.
I loved Gone Girl.
Gone Girl was good, but
I like Gone
Girl's
Gone Girl's an easy rewatch. How about you, Rosa? What do you? I know you like Mank, but you know, like it. Where do you think it falls on Fincher's timeline?
Oh my, that's a good question. I also like Gone Girl a lot.
I think
the Social Network though.
I go seven. Dragon Tattoo, Social Network, then Fight Club.
Game.
What?
Yeah, I really like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, and I think Seven is his best.
I felt like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He copied a lot of. It felt like the Psycho remake they did with Vince Vaughn. It felt like he took too much from the Norwegian. Was it Norwegian or Swedish?
And I like Zodiac myself.
Yeah,
Zodiac's great. That's up there too.
Me too.
Zodiac, 3 actors in the Marvel Universe as the leads.
Yeah, Zodiac. I mean, Rosa. Rosa, I didn't mean to cut you off with my right there, but what were you, finish your thought on it.
No, I had nothing else to say.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So you put Gone Girl at the top. Look at you with your Fincher fandom.
Yeah.
Gone Girl's a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Ben Affleck, but yeah, Gone Girl is a good movie.
Who puts Dragon Tattoo at number 7? I think I would put Dragon Tattoo probably in. Dragon Tattoo is in my top 3 to 4 Finchers. Like I said, I think I go 7.
I can't believe Fight Club's not in your top 3. That's weird. Okay.
I like Fight Club, but I don't know. Maybe I think I've watched it too many times. Like
I love Fight Club. Also has
it's a fun movie.
It's one of those movies that, aside from is it good or bad or is it in my top, it just feels like a movie that I love. So
Yeah.
it has have emotional connection to it.
We can all agree 7 is number 1, right?
Yeah,
I agree. I love
Yeah,
that movie.
Fight Club's my top.
Tied number
It
1.
makes you feel so many things. Like you're angry and
You
feel
put
dirty.
you put Fight Club against 7.
Yeah.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Come on, man. You had to be there. All right, moving right along. Sorry about the side rant there, guys. All right, best foreign film. I think that this is like one of them that I don't know about. Best animated film. I wanted to ask Rosa about because I think
already. I know I cut out. So
best supporting actress. I think we were best supporting actor. Oh, best supporting actor. No, you're right. We missed that one. All right,
Okay.
Best supporting actor.
that's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Now
You're gonna lose me again. God damn it.
do the Oscars? I mean, they nominated him, but would the Academy actually give Sacha Baron Cohen an award?
Oh, I don't know.
I wouldn't give it to him for the trial of Chicago 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would
Not
rather
for
give
that.
it to him for I'd rather, yeah, he was playing kind of a character. I don't know.
Yeah.
He won.
Like,
He
I
actually
think
won
it's
for
fantastic.
Cuba.
I just don't. I wouldn't give him an Oscar for that.
If anything,
Uh,
more.
Who is
Exactly.
Paul? I think this is really down to Daniel Kaluuya or Lakeith Stanfield. I think that
Daniel Kaluuya, I think, is the lock.
who did
Me
Leslie
too.
Odom Jr.
I'm a
play in
huge
One
Daniel
Night?
Kaluuya fan.
Played
So.
Sam Cooke. He's so I don't understand why he's not winning anything. But okay.
No,
Oh, he played Sam Cooke.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite. As
I
far
think
as-
he should win, but he's not. It's going to be Daniel Kaluuya because he was really good. Because I forget that he's British and he did like an awesome, I don't know,
Oh,
Chicago accent, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So here's where like I go like cynical conspiracy, Lou, which is like, you know, like where you're like, well, why did Halle Berry have to be a like, you know, like how they make black actors play crooked characters to win Oscars, Denzel, you know, Training Day, etc., Halle Berry, etc. So if I was going cynical conspiracy, Lou, I would think it would be Lakeith Stanfield because he's playing Judas. He's playing the Judas in that movie. And he did an incredible job. So that's kind of like, you know, but I also think he did an incredible job as well as Daniel Kaluuya as well. Sacha Baron Cohen, Paul Raci. So, and then the Sam Cooke character in One Night in Miami, I said it should win an Oscar for best ensemble, but if you're going to pick out one of those that did, he did an incredible job.
Oh, I thought I
But
was
he's
watching-
fantastic.
He's fantastic as Sam Cooke. He sang. He was.
Yeah.
He moved like that scene at the end. Like he was really good. I really enjoyed that
I
film.
love
But-
Sam Cooke, so I've seen videos. I mean, he like Gondra Day, like he captured.
I mean, Randy, you'll win a couple of these eventually. So who?
I think
let's
he's
start
gonna
with
get
you.
the song. I think
what?
Leslie's gonna get the song.
You think Leslie's gonna get best song? All right, Randy.
I think so.
Who's your pick? Best supporting actor. Put it on wax here.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya.
Kaluuya. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, it's going to be Daniel Kaluuya. Should be, what's his name?
Sam Cooke.
Lakeith
Odom.
or
No.
Leslie Odom. Leslie Odom.
Leslie Odom. But he's pretty good too, but I don't know.
Rosa, where are you putting your money on? And what's your heart telling you, and what's your money telling you?
The dude from Sound of Music was pretty solid too.
Sound of Metal. Yeah, Paul Racing. Yeah, he was.
Christopher Plummer.
Paul Racy played the counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually speaks sign language.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He
he's good.
he did a great job.
Yeah.
I don't think he did better than the other three that I mentioned, but
No.
what do you think, Rosa?
Yeah, I think Daniel Kaluuya is a lock. He's been winning everything. I think he's the only actor. I mean, aside from Chloe Zhao as director, who's been winning everything across the board.
I agree.
So it's a no-brainer to just put him in. My favorite, though, surprisingly, it's actually Lakeith Stanfield. Although he should not be in this category, I think what he does on an emotional and more subtle level is a bit more difficult to do than just scream. Or
I
yell.
agree.
Has anyone ever seen Sorry to Bother You?
Yes.
He's pretty good in that, huh?
It's a
He's
fantastic
really good.
film. It's a weird ass fantastic film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. He's really good in it.
So yeah, I think that's a tougher role. You know, obviously Fred Hampton and people knowing about Fred Hampton, etc., has been something that's like, you know, finally they're making a movie. You even saw his character in the trial of the Chicago 7, and you know, because that's taking place at the same time as this
Yeah.
movie. It's taking place,
Mhm.
which is crazy. So I think the fact that it's bringing knowledge to the character, etc., is probably means that Daniel Solak. I think Lakeith did an incredible job, though. So I think I would give it to him because I think that's a tougher curve. That's a tougher character to play. Although being a British guy playing an American revolutionary is also a tough stretch.
Yeah.
But here we are. All right. We did best supporting. We're getting close to wrapping this up because we've done the major categories. Best foreign film, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Tunisia. It's the first one I saw. I'm voting with that one. Here you go.
That one's a lock, I heard too.
Tunisia is a lock. I'm telling you.
No, not that movie, but the category, the Mads Mikkelsen one, the Danish.
Oh, another round.
Another round.
I'm upset about the foreign category.
Why are you upset?
Well, they snubbed La Llorona from Guatemala. A far better film, in my opinion, than. Here's the thing. I mean, I love Collective. Collective is really good, but it's nominated for both documentary and international. And I think if that would have not been an international, La Llorona would have been in there. However, knowing the Academy and their horror bias towards films, I'm pretty sure that's why it got disqualified. I know the front runner in this category is Another Round. However, my personal favorite is Quo Vadis Aida. That's the representative of, I have it here. No, I don't.
Oh, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
It's pretty much like another Schindler's List film, but with a more recent genocide, and that's certainly the one that it's more impactful. So I don't know. It's called Quo Vadis Aida. It's currently streaming on Hulu, actually. Okay. So yeah, highly recommended. I watched it last night. I had nightmares. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's that impactful. Powerful.
I saw your tweet about it. I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
And then best animated film, we have Onward, which is pretty cool. Over the Moon, Shaun and the Sheep
This one's
movie.
another lock, huh?
Soul, which I enjoyed, and Wolfwalkers. So everything that I've heard about is that Wolfwalkers is a lock. Rosa, what do you agree with that?
Soul is the lock. The picture.
Soul is a lock. The other time I heard was about.
I shouldn't have told Luis because the pool now. Now he's going to change his answer.
Maybe I'll still vote for Wolfwalkers. It may win the upset.
My heart votes for Wolfwalkers.
Really?
Mine too. I'm voting for Wolfwalkers, even though I know I'm not gonna
I don't know
win
anything about that one. What
deserves it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What's the gist?
Wolfwalkers?
Yeah, give me a log line.
Yes, it's like an Irish folklore movie following just it's like legendary tales. I think what's more fascinating about the movie, it's the animation. It's several different types. You got hand-drawn animation, and then just the look of it. It's quite just something in animated film that you rarely get nowadays, particularly when you have all these Pixar and Disney films coming out. It's available on Apple TV if anybody's interested. But yes, Wolfwalkers. It made some of my favorite. I think it made my top 5 favorite of 2020 because that film is just beautiful.
All right. Okay.
But Soul is gonna get it.
It's not like it's not like you're
a mouse.
It's not like you're an officially approved Rotten Tomatoes critic, and we should listen to what you say, Rosa. So
what?
When it came out, it was because of the quarantine. It was a huge, it was like an event when it came out. It's just so many people raved about it.
Yeah.
No, I was just joking. I said it's not like you're a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic and you can tell us what to do, Rosa. But okay, I'll watch it. Okay, don't browbeat me. Just kidding. All right, moving right along. Production design is something that's kind of relevant. The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, News of the World, and Tenet. This is usually where you get like Avatar won an Oscar, where they sometimes give it to people for technical work, right? So production design, Shelly, give me this one. I'll give this one to you.
I think it's gonna go to Tenet.
Tenet?
Oh, wow. I would give it to Tenet, but I think it's gonna go to Tenet. I mean, still, it's gonna go to.
It's like the most technically difficult movie to make.
What?
You think it's because it's the most difficult movie to make?
No, I fucking love that. Can I swear in the whatever? I love the production design for this film, and I mean, I love the production design for The Father. I think it played a critical role in the storytelling, and it was very much part of. It was part of the story. Without it, you lose a piece of the story, which was incredible. But I do think I would give it to Tenet. I would.
Rosa.
I think this category, if Mank is going to win anything, it would probably be production design. Because, yes, particularly that scene that takes place in that room where everybody's talking and they're having this conversation, this political conversation. It's certainly everything that building right there, the world building, just in that scene, certainly speaks volumes. So if Mank is taking anything, I want to bet it's going to be production design.
All right. And cinematography, we got Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank again, News of the World, which is always, it's weird when you see a movie that you haven't heard about, because if it nominated, that means a lot of people like the cinematography, and it had Tom Hanks in it, so
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't seen it.
you have to, you
It's
can never.
good, but I don't remember the cinematography.
It's all right. And Nomadland and the Trial of the Chicago 7. The Trial of Chicago 2, there was nothing special about that. News of the World was a wannabe sort of Dances with Wolves. Mank technically was incredibly well shot. Judas and the Black Messiah, nothing that I remember too memorably about it. Nomadland is the one where I would think it's like far and away. If it wins Best Director, then I think it goes right alongside cinematography. I don't know if it'll win Best Film, but definitely cinematography. Randy, Mark, do you guys feel any differently, or how do you guys feel on cinematography?
I think Mank, but I don't know. You guys are kind of making me think maybe I should reconsider for Nomadland, but I'm going to say Mank.
Got it. And then Randy?
I'm torn between Mank and Nomadland. I feel I'm a little more biased toward Mank being on the set. Like it was unreal.
Because you were part of the cinematography, you feel a little kind of way, guy. Oh man, come on, man.
No, but I mean, I mean, watching Fincher from behind like the monitor and watching like the lighting that he was doing was. There was a scene in the movie where Ben Kingsley's son was doing Gary Oldman walks in and he's like, Mr. Mank, I thought you'd be home and you're licking your wounds in your pajamas. And Fincher like yells at him. He goes, "Cut!" He goes, "Ferdinand, put your fucking chin down." He's like, "What you mean, David?" It was like they're all Brits, and then they like pop back in and out. He said, "You look sinister." Like I was watching it, like the shadows on his face, he looked evil, and he's like, so he did it again. He's like, "Put your fucking face down. You look sinister." And so then he goes, "Come look at the monitor." So Ferdinand, he comes to the monitor, he looks, and they show it to him. He's like, "Oh, okay, you're right." So he comes in and he does like this. He's like, "Oh, Mank, I thought you'd be home licking your wounds." Made a huge difference with the black and white. So I mean, the angles. I just talked myself into Mank. I was gonna say Nomadland, but I'm gonna say Mank.
Well, and I give you shit, because you're my friend, but also because I'm jealous that you got to sit there and watch a master at work, too. Obviously,
it's crazy. He's like a DP himself. He's like measuring, like it was. The DP was co-DP as far as I'm concerned.
I was going to tell you, rookies talk about angles, masters talk about lighting. So we talked you back. You talked yourself back into Mank, huh?
I might be wrong. It's probably no matter.
Hey man, you know what? Nobody's gonna blame you for voting for Mank. Like literally.
Can I vote for Selena? Oh no.
For who? Pinocchio. What am I looking? Okay. Costume design. This usually goes to some movie that's set in like in 1432 in France. Is that? I'm assuming Emma is set in France in like the 14.
I loved Emma.
Is Emma from the 1600s? Yes or no? Or is it from like I've never.
Yeah, it's a period. It's a period piece. It's a brilliant film. Did you like it, Rosa?
I did. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah. It's fantastic.
The period piece award.
But I don't think they're getting. I mean, hopefully they get it, but I don't necessarily think they're getting costume design. I think Ma Rainey's Black Bottom has been taking everything, right? For that, for like the guild, the costume guild, and all the right. Yeah.
My vote.
I'm gonna say Disney's got the fix in, and they want to be able to say Oscar winner Mulan, so they slipped a couple of like Disney passes into the voters thing this year, and I think that's gonna go to Mulan because money talks. And Disney's gonna want a little bit of something for I think, and they got money. I'm just saying, never question the fixes in. Sometimes money
never
talks.
Question the mouse, right?
Yeah. All right.
I thought Hollywood hates Disney because they're taking everything over.
No, but they're taking everything over. That's what's happening. If the Academy needs money, who do you think there's going to give them a little bridge loan? It's going to be Disney.
I'll vote for whatever.
best documentary. I've been watching a bunch of Latino documentaries over the last 6 months for the festival, so I haven't caught up on these. But I'm gonna go just based on the name, My Octopus Teacher.
That's that one. It was good.
And not just because of that. It's actually a really good documentary.
So good.
It is. It's a good documentary. Yeah.
Okay,
It's one of those movies. If you're sleepy too, don't watch it. It's one of those. It's so soothing to watch it. It's amazing.
That's my vote.
all right. Okay, then I got it right.
I really love the last Blockbuster, but not
They say,
nominated.
Oh, that
They
was
say-
good. Is that
they
one of
say-
the?
which one?
Is it nominated? Is the Blockbuster one nominated?
That was my favorite.
They say you direct the movie 3 times: when you write it, when you direct it, and then when you edit it. So film editing, that's my backup on what my first Oscar will be in, maybe. But you said the production design in The Father, the editing was incredible to get that look. Nomadland felt like Nomadland felt like an easy edit. I could have edited Nomadland, because if you get cinematography that good, all it is getting the right pacing and the right shots. That doesn't seem like it's going to take that. Promising Young Woman had a really cool, slick style.
Yep.
Very well edited. Sound of Metal. I think I don't know if they'd give them this as well as sound design, but it is also very well edited. Trial of Chicago 7, again, nothing special.
It's gonna be that one though.
You think that's gonna? I mean,
Flashbacks.
I guess it's really easy or difficult if you think about it
Well,
to
the
edit.
one thing about the trial one,
It's got a sort. It's
something
got a
that
sort.
is, and it's editing something that it's in like the same space for a really long
Yeah,
time.
I can see
And with
that.
a lot of people just talking, you have to be you have
Yeah.
to really understand pacing and edit
But-
for it to be interesting.
That's
a
why
little
they
bit
had
different.
those. That's why they have those cutaway shots and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a Fincher-esque, not a
The guy
Fincher-esque,
who played the lawyer got
Sorkin-esque. Yeah, that guy should have gotten that guy I could have seen that guy instead of Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he did an excellent job.
Me
He's
too.
an underrated character actor. That guy. He's in
Yeah.
a lot of
What's
stuff.
it again?
He won a couple years ago for The Bridge of Spies, right?
I believe his name
Mark
is.
Rylance.
I believe his
Rylance.
name is Joey Bag of Donuts. If I figuring out. So film editing. What do you think? What do you think, Shelly?
I don't know.
Rosa?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Trial.
The trial of Chicago 7?
Especially that intro sequence.
That's great.
That I think that's what's gonna get the vote.
They also switched from like actual footage to recreated footage, and it was very seamless. It was. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a well-made film, and it was a Sorkin script. So you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that sing-song, pacey, and that Social Network type feel.
Right.
It was like the Social Network inside of a trial case. It was alright. It was alright. Makeup and hairstyle. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is gonna go to Emma because it's a period piece.
No.
No, Pinocchio.
Ma Rainey.
And Ma Rainey.
Ma Rainey.
Rainey.
Yeah.
Original
Rainey.
score: The Five Bloods, Mank, Minari, News of the World, or Soul. I think since it's a movie about with music is the thing. I think Soul is pretty much a lock for this. Am I wrong?
Ooh, shit.
No.
I
I mean,
Tough one. It's good. The Mank score.
My
was
vote is for Soul. Yeah.
Same composer.
Mank,
9 Inch Nails
Mank.
composed Mank.
Trent Reznor.
So,
Yeah, he only used instruments from the 30s and 40s.
yeah.
You know that?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy 9 Inch Nails.
Hold on. Let me give you my reaction to that. That's how I feel. Oh, he only used instruments from the 1930s.
But isn't that crazy though? That 9 Inch Nails were
I'm
like
so impressed
this
by that.
amazing classical score, and then they did
Yeah.
this really cool blues score.
Doing
Like,
that for years
God.
now. He's been doing it since-
Is this a we owe you one Oscar for Trent Reznor?
No, he's got a couple, doesn't he?
He's got a few. All right, best original song. Who wants to take this one? I don't know any of these songs. Is there a lock in here?
Leslie Odom, right?
Miami.
Yeah. For Speak
I
Now.
think it's going to speak now for Leslie's song for the trial of Joseph. I mean, the Miami night. What is it? One night in Miami.
Miami, yeah.
All right, I don't know anything about animated short or live action shorts,
does?
but visual effects. This is usually this is I guess maybe Tenet. I don't know the other. I know Tenet, Mulan, The Midnight Sky, Love and Monsters, The One and Only Ivan. Randy, Mark, you guys have any thoughts on these?
I think it's gonna be Tenet.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tenet's got a shot here. Rosa, Shelly.
My vote is for Tenet. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Love and Monsters.
Yeah.
runs
Was
away
that
with it.
nominated?
Yeah,
It is. It is
Yeah.
nominated for
That's a fun
visual
movie.
effects.
yeah. Those monsters are incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Now, Rosa, you said you love Tenet.
I do. I
Why?
adore it. Because I love it. I love everything about it. I love how it makes me question my own psyche, and
Are
it
you a
messes with
Nolan?
physics.
Are you a
It
Nolan
messes-
apologist? You like it because you're a scientist.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
this is the equivalent of Mank being a movie that cinephiles would love.
Right.
This is you're saying Tenet is a movie that science geeks or scientists would love.
Yeah, we can say that.
But the sound design, though, I felt was it different in a theater? I didn't watch it in a movie theater. Did it make that big of a difference? Because I just felt there was a lot of exposition with like going on, and I don't know. I mean, I usually give them a pass on stuff like that. I'm a fan.
I'm actually surprised it didn't get nominated for sound, because
Really?
that certainly was a standout. Yeah, very surprised. I think that was one of the snubs that Tenet didn't get into sound.
Well, maybe it gets best visual effects or production, as we said
Hopefully.
before. All right, and then wrapping up, we have the writing competitions, the best adapted and best original screenplay. Best
Mhm.
adapted, we already said that Nomadland is kind of improv. One Night in Miami. The White Tiger was a movie that I kind of enjoyed because it had a non-Hollywood ending, and it was kind of like I love movies that give you unexpected twists here. Nomadland, The Father, because Anthony Hopkins makes that script look so good.
I mean, he wrote the play and then he adapted it, which it's beautifully done.
He
But I
wrote the
kind of
play-
want Borat to win.
Wow.
That would be a fun Oscar win.
Would
It
they,
is
would,
not. It is not. You know.
would they bring Rudy Giuliani on stage?
Well, that's the award to Rudy.
Yeah, does he- Would he get a best ensemble nomination?
Would Rudy get up and be like, "Hey, Sasha, what's up?" and then like hug him, and then they walk down the aisle, and then everything.
How
would be
many
great?
people
Justin,
are
like
under that for that film? I think it's like 10 writers, right? I mean, 10
Yeah.
people that get credit for that or something.
I mean, again, I think if they were going to give it to a movie with some improv, it would probably give it to Nomadland.
Yeah.
If it's just sweeping everything, I think I'm going to go with One Night in Miami, slightly over The Father, because The Father's an incredible script. It's kind of like a one-man thing with some really strong supporting players, where One Night in Miami is a true ensemble, and it's a true sort of rotation of kind of stuff like that. So I'm going to go vote for One Night in Miami. What do you guys feel?
I'm going with The Father, actually.
Really? Yeah, it was between that and The Father for me. But I think, like I said, Anthony Hopkins makes the script look really good. So you got to give it. He makes it look easy, which makes it flow. But I think One Night in Miami would be Randy or Mark. What do you guys think?
should win One Night in Miami. Gonna win Nomadland.
Nomadland
It
bunch-
might.
with a bunch of amateur actors and Francis. I mean,
Yeah.
she's the
Lou,
one that
remember-
she's really bringing up the curve in that movie, though. It's like a
Lou,
bunch of it's just
remember
like
that.
her matting rating is 99 and theirs is like 15. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Lou,
Right.
but remember that when the how Oscar voting works, the people that understand your job, as screenwriters, will nominate the screenwriters, right? But then everyone votes, and I don't know necessarily if everyone else understands the difference between adapter. A lot of those votes go to oh, I love that film. Here you go. I don't know if everyone's doing the research
Yeah.
on, which is what happens with that whole category with sound being together, mixing and together,
Sound
which doesn't make
design and
sense.
sound editing.
Which are very different kind
they
of
combine,
jobs.
They combine them.
They combine them. So I don't necessarily think that everyone that's voting understands the nuances
adapted.
of The
The new one. The
So it might win.
nuances. Yes, I agree, Shelly. Thank you for your wonderful
I
insight.
gotta flip a
Thank you
coin.
all
Sure.
for being thank you all for being a part of this today, actually. And finally, best original
I
screenplay.
gotta throw mine in there real quick.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Randy.
It's a coin toss between One Night in Miami and The Father. I think The Father will probably take it.
All right, so you guys are going with The Father, Nomadland for Shelly, and I'm gonna go with One Night in Miami. White Tiger, not bad, but it's a tough year to be in that adapted screenplay competition because you got some Oscar favorites in there, and then best original screenplay: Promising Young Woman, The Sound of Metal, The Trial of the Chicago Seven, Minari, and Judas and the Black Messiah. Aaron Sorkin. Sorkin is I got such a love-hate relationship with Sorkin.
There's nothing original about that story, though.
I mean, no. Have you guys seen the Sorkinisms videos, though?
No, but I know what you're talking about. He kind of rehashes a lot of his dialogue.
Okay, this is my podcast, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want, right? Am I allowed? Okay, here's my case. How do you spell his last name? S-O-R? Sorkin.
S-O-R-K-I-N.
S-O-8, right? S-O-8.
I'm just gonna give you guys a quick taste of this after this ad plays. Give me 2 seconds, so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about. This is something called Sorkinisms, a supercut. Okay, and if you've never seen this on your own, it's basically the thought out there is that he uses the same dialogue over and over in his different projects, same beats,
Right.
same stuff, and it's a bit hacky, right? But anyway,
I don't know. It's hacky. He's an auteur.
I still love it.
Well, let's watch.
The only thing you have to do to make me and your mom happy is come home at the end of the day.
The only thing you ever had to do to make me happy was come home at the end of the day.
I'm not gonna like you, am I? Don't be ridiculous. Everybody likes me.
I'm not going to like you very much, am I?
What's that?
Don't be ridiculous, Dana. Everybody likes me.
But at the moment, I could buy Mount Auburn Street, take the Phoenix Club, and turn it into my ping pong room.
I could buy his house 4 times and turn it into my ping pong room.
Answer them. Don't answer them. It's entirely up to you.
Tell the press. Don't tell the press. It's entirely up to you.
This is gonna get worse before it's gonna get better.
This will get worse before it gets better.
A writer once wrote, as if it matters how a man falls down.
As if it matters how a man falls down.
When the fall is all that's left, it matters very much.
When the fall is all that's left.
And this is me watching Sorkinisms.
do the Jackal, then you haven't seen Shakespeare the way it's meant.
If you haven't seen Davis Love play Pebble Beach, then you haven't seen Shakespeare the way it was meant to be played.
You are a good man, Josh.
Yes, I really am quite something.
I'm really quite something.
I'm really something.
I'm quite something.
It's really quite something.
It was really quite something.
A famous monk once said,
I don't always know the right thing to do, Lord.
but I think the fact that I want to please you
Pleases you.
All right, we're a minute 23 into this. It's 7 minutes long, and there's a part 2. There's a part 2 that's 8 minutes long.
Wow.
There's a part.
To say nothing of the fact.
And then I moved on to other things in my head.
But I'd already moved on to other things in my head.
I screwed up.
You think?
You think? You think?
You think?
You think?
You think?
You think?
You think?
You think?
Yeah, you think?
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 My man has come back to me. My man.
Yes.
You came back to me.
We had a conversation. Seriously.
All right, this
In
is the last
fact,
one.
we were talking about the stability of former Soviet republics. I told her about my opposition to secular programs you financed. I made some very scholarly points regarding the remaining nuclear weapons in Kyrgyzstan.
You mean non-secular?
Not
Kazakhstan. Nuclear weapons are in Kazakhstan.
As in Kyrgyzstan?
You don't oppose secular programs that are publicly financed. You oppose non.
I love his writing.
He writes.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
I love it.
No,
As
forget
an
about
actor, I
podcast
love
for a
his
minute.
script. I love the musicality of the scripts.
Yeah.
And
They overlap each other. I love it.
Yeah,
Natural.
I love it.
all right, and you guys would agree that I write some interesting dialogue myself, right? So any writer, anybody that writes and directs their own movies or that writes for cinema, they're gonna have certain patterns and stuff. But obviously, the case against Sorkin is that there's 2 8-minute things that is just nonstop him repeating himself from movie to TV show to movie to speech. So
You
if you
think?
want, yeah, you think and I guess you know, I guess you could say that about different writers. Like you could say maybe Tarantino's dialogue or Fincher's or you know, different stuff. Like I don't know. You can say stuff. You can say something like that about any director, any writer, really, if you dig into it. But it just bugs me a little bit. So I'm a little bit okay, sorry for the side rant there, but I checked and it is my show, so I'm allowed to do that when I want to. But yeah, that's kind of the reason that I'm against the Trial of the Chicago 7. That's the longest answer to why I'm not voting for Trial of the Chicago 7 for best original screenplay. But do you guys feel that is it the front runner?
No.
No. Promising Young Woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my vote.
That's my vote too.
I mean, I love Carey Mulligan. She's an extraordinary actress, but I think Promising Young Woman, what makes Promising Young Woman is that script, is the directing. And I think Emerald Fennell is taking this.
I think so too.
I think that's the one that we're going to give it to.
Okay. Hey, I feel better about the Trial of the Chicago 7 not winning now. Thank you. I went on a 7-minute rant about why Sorkin shouldn't win, and looks like he's not gonna. So this is me finding out Aaron Sorkin's probably not gonna win. All right, sorry. All right. All right. Anyway, I wanted to ask you guys each a question, and then we're going to do bracket bit. I'm going to let you guys go. But obviously, I talk a lot about the institution of the Oscar, and I used to want to do a bit called the Un-Oscars, which was a TV show that was like, you know, basically the bit was that there's only a finite amount of Oscars in the universe, you know, and basically for everybody that was going to get a new Oscar, you would have to go pick somebody to take an Oscar away from. Like taking Martin Scorsese's Oscar away for The Departed, but you might give it back to Scorsese for Goodfellas. You know what I mean? For me, and if you guys can see, there's a poster in the background right there of Basquiat, which I think Jeffrey Wright his performance in that is probably the single performance that I think is underrated and should have won the Oscar. I don't even know what year that movie was nominated in or who won, but I think he should have beat whoever that was. You could tell me whoever. You could tell me it's Forrest. You could tell me it's Tom Hanks for Forrest Gump, and I'd be like, yeah, he's not. But I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think is the most underrated Oscar snub from your favorite actor, your favorite director, your favorite movie?
Does it mean they didn't get nominated, or they got nominated but didn't win?
They should have won, or they should have been nominated. It could have been either or both. Like Jeffrey Wright, I don't believe was nominated for an Oscar for Basquiat, but he should have been.
Sure.
Go ahead, Mark. You can take it.
Well, I mean, I got to go Quint.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
Who won that year? No one knows.
Best supporting actor.
Supporting actor for sure. Another one. What's that?
Was he nominated?
He was nominated but didn't win. Yeah, nominated but didn't win. I think The Big Lebowski. I think John Goodman should have been nominated for Best Supporting. Jeff Bridges for lead. Yeah, those are the ones that come. Maybe John Candy for Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. I don't know.
I think John Goodman might have been nominated.
Oh, was he? If you're for that performance?
No, maybe. I'm not sure. I was trying to look it up. How about you, Shelly? What do you think?
Yeah, if I have to take one away, just because I don't like him, I would take away Casey Affleck's Oscar. I'm sorry, I really don't, and I don't believe him when he's on screen. I don't believe. There's always like 10% that I don't believe.
That was like
what
New
he's
Hampshire
going through.
What was it New Hampshire?
Manchester by the Sea. And at the film, I loved a lot of things about the film, but I don't. He's one of those actors that I always like 10% of what he's doing. I don't believe, so he takes me out of the films. So I would take that away from. It was so mean to say. I would never take away. But that's yeah.
And who would you give it to?
I think I remember someone saying that Jack Nicholson wasn't nominated for The Shining because it's like horror. And I freaking love that movie. I love him in that movie. So I don't know if I would give him.
Kubrick wasn't nominated. Kubrick has never won an Oscar.
I know.
What? Not even Dr. Strangelove?
Strangelove.
Wow.
No.
2001.
Kubrick has never won an Oscar.
Nothing.
Right.
So yeah.
So you give it to The Shining
Because I'm taking away a Best Actor one for.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
Best
Mark, you didn't tell me who you took your Oscar away from.
So I want to take away from Shakespeare in Love and give it to Saving Private Ryan.
All right.
That's
okay.
Randy, who would you take an Oscar for? Would you take it from Gary Oldman from Gary Oldman?
Oh yeah, because then you'd have a better chance of winning this year, huh?
There you go. There's some logic.
I'm not taking anything from Gary Oldman. I love that fucking guy. Okay. Can I take it away from an actor and give it to a movie?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take it away from Nicolas Cage.
All right, hold on.
That was a fluke.
There he is.
All right. Moving right along. How dare you, Randy Davison? How dare you? How dare you, sir?
I'm going to take it away from Nicolas Cage from Leaving Las Vegas.
Yes.
Are you kidding? I don't remember if my wife left me because I started drinking, or if I started drinking because my wife left me. But fuck it anyway. Oh my God! You just took a shot at like one of my top 10 right there.
Oh really?
I think he wanted the year that you wanted Basquiat to win. I think he's the one that won that year.
There you go.
Hold on a second.
So now we're even. Should I take it away from?
All right, hold on a second.
Jerry
Hold on
Maguire?
a second. If Nicolas Cage beat Jeffrey
1996.
Wright, hold on a second, because this could rock my universe. If Nick Cage in Leaving Las Vegas, which is one of my favorite movie performances of all time, beats Jeffrey Wright and Basquiat, and I think they came out in similar years, which I think is my most underrated performance of all time, my head might explode live on stream. So let me quickly look up what year did Nick Cage
1996.
Okay, I got it. I'm pulling up the 1996 Best Oscar nominations. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't get nervous, Lou. Best Oscar nominees.
It was like 95.
Huh?
I think he won in 95, I think.
What? I'm sorry, one more time?
I think Cage won in 95.
Would you rather me take it away from the French guy who won for The Artist?
Okay, the nominees were Massimo Troisi for The Postman, Sean Penn for Dead Man Walking, Anthony Hopkins for Nixon, Richard Dreyfuss for Mr. Holland's Opus, and Nicolas Cage for Leaving Las Vegas. Crisis averted, guys. All right, it's okay.
Wow.
You know,
But
all right. You know what, Randy? You're my friend. So
what about the French guy and The Artist? I'll take it away from that.
You're gonna take it away from. You can take it away from Nick Cage. I'm not gonna.
There's so many thirds since then, except for Mandy and Uncle Willie's Funhouse or whatever lately, or Nicolas Cage just put him back in the good graces. But come
on, face off. He played John Travolta. You couldn't even tell the difference.
Can I take it away from Nicolas Cage from Leaving Las Vegas and give it to him for Face Off?
Okay, all right. And then go ahead. Who you would give it to?
Shawshank Redemption. It wasn't even. I don't think it was even nominated.
What?
Shawshank Redemption.
I've told the story before. I've told the story before, but my best friend, we watched Shawshank Redemption on VHS, and like with 15 minutes right before the twist at the end, right before he crawls through a mile of shit and comes out clean on the other end. She's like, hey, we got to go into the city. We got this thing. We got to go meet these people. So she fast forwarded through the rest of it.
Oh,
and she's like, all right. So then he throws the rock through the thing, and then they see, and then I'm like, wait, what? And then she's like, all right. And then you think he's gonna hang himself, but then he doesn't hang himself. And then like, oh, he goes here, gets this thing from behind the rock, and I'm just like, so for 3 hours, I'm like mesmerized. I'm like watching the Shawshank Redemption. I'm like, man. And then she fucking ruined the last 15 minutes of the movie for me because we had to leave, and I will never, ever, ever forgive her for that.
No.
Even though she's my best friend. My best friend.
Anytime that movie's on, I watch it. It's
all right, Rosa. I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you. I gotta ask Rosa. Okay, who would you take your
Yeah,
Oscar
I
away
wanna
from?
know.
Who would you give it
I
to?
want to know.
I
Um,
want to know what you're thinking.
yeah, well, I'm gonna probably pick something more recent,
Okay.
and I would probably take it away from Rami Malek and give it to Bradley Cooper. For A Star Is Born. I don't get me wrong, I love Bohemian Rhapsody, but I don't think he gave a better performance than Bradley Cooper. And I'm still bitter that Taron Egerton didn't get nominated for Best Actor for his
No.
Man.
Yeah.
I would have definitely given him the nomination and the award over Joaquin Phoenix.
True.
And just to clarify the point, because I was googling something real quick, Benicio del Toro won Best Supporting Actor at the Independent Spirit Awards for Basquiat, and Jeffrey White was nominated for Best Debut Performance at the Independent Spirit Awards, which is probably better than an Oscar. Who knows, right?
Is that tonight?
Huh?
Is that tonight? When is that?
The Oscars are Sunday night on my
No,
birthday.
the Spirit Awards. Is that tonight?
For today, yeah, at 7 when we started the listener.
Oh, hey, so there might be more information to decipher.
The Spirit
That's
Awards
true.
are for this podcast.
All right, guys. So I want to thank you guys all for coming on. Obviously, I thought it was just a cool conversation to kind of just take a look at what's coming up. With a little insight from Rosa, who's a reviewer, Shelly, Mark, Randy, who are in LA and actors, and coincidentally in 2 Oscar-nominated films. Mark, as always, a contributor to the pod and a local actor here.
Might get a Razzie.
Who might get a Razzie?
Selena. I was kidding.
Oh no! Yeah. Mark is in Selena on that.
We did a podcast for 2 hours and I didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about
Like, wait a minute, Selena, I was in that.
Go ahead, Randy.
By the way, congratulations, Mark Atkinson and Shelly Rowe, for your nominations for the San Diego Film Awards.
Oh, right back at you.
Thank you. Yes, you are too, Randy.
Yes,
Yeah.
White Ink. How many festivals has White Ink been in so far? Let me see. Let's guess here, Shelly. I'm going to set the over under at total festivals that White Ink has gotten into at. Let me see if I can remember. I'm going to say the line is set at 12 and a half. Don't tell me yes or no. Mark, do you think that White Ink has gotten into more or less than 12 festivals internationally?
I'm trying to read Shelly's reaction to your 12.
It's very neutral. Where can we see it?
Hard read.
All right, go ahead, Mark. Come on. Over under, Randy.
Over 12? I'd say 12. It's Shelly. She's amazing. I'm sure it's great. I haven't seen it.
All right. Rosa,
More than
over
12.
under 12 festivals for White Ink. You haven't seen it, but just looking at Shelly's Rose, she's the lead actress in the film.
She's an actress. I can't see. I can't read that face. I would say more.
Am I frozen?
Yeah,
Yep.
poker face. I'd say more.
Oh, there you
You
go.
say more? All right, Shelly, what's the answer?
Yeah.
More.
More?
Yeah.
What are you like? 15, 16? Where are you at so far?
I think we're at 17 or 18.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome. Good for
I know.
you.
Nice. So everybody check out.
There was. Let me see.
Everybody check out Shelly's film White Ink. That's on festival tours, and hopefully Rosa will review it at some point. Everybody
The
check out
longest,
Randy.
if this year was the longest award show, award season, this has been the longest festival.
The longest, trust
in
me.
the history.
And-
It's so long.
Dude, not only that, but
Definitely.
San Diego Latino Films Festival got canceled and came back early and then did a thing and then stayed on schedule. So I was part of that festival, 2 yearly festivals within like 6 months of each other. It was insane. And everybody watch Randy and Mank in the other movie that he's in. Everybody check out Mr. Mark Atkinson, and everybody go follow at Rosa's Reviews on Twitter. She's also on Letterboxd, and she's leading the charge along with a bunch of other Latina film reviewers to get more representation of not only me and Shelly, we're working at getting representation on screen in the directors, in more parts. We also need to get more representation and in as much as the people that review the films that we're making.
Yes.
Because it doesn't make any sense that you have like top rated Latino shows. There's only like a handful of them. I can say them and count them on my hand. and you get people that aren't necessarily aware of the culture reviewing it, which could then affect the audience and then giving it less of a chance to succeed. So just like I said, as we need representation in front of behind the camera, we also need much more representation in the people that review, that work publications, and get different people's aspects on watching movies, because hey, it's just probably the correct thing to do for society as we move forward. Sorry, little side rant there. But again, I thank you guys for coming on the show. We do have one last bit, and I'm going to make it real quick for you guys. And it is something that we like to call...
Mark is super excited about
love
it.
Rocket bid.
Rocket bid. I love it.
Wait for it.
Oh!
Racket bid. Racket bid. Racket bid. Racket bid. Racket bid. Whoa, 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 whoa. Racket bid. Racket bid. Racket bid. Racket bid. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Fireside Chats.
That is right. It is time for the bracket bits.
Bracket bid.
And part of the reason, Mr. Randy, that I was kind of mad about what you said about Nick Cage is that the bracket bid that I've chosen for you guys to work on together as a team has to do with what we were talking about a little bit, which is Oscar winners versus Oscar subs. So I'm going to give you two categories. There could be either actors, directors, movies, etc. One of them will be a movie that won an Oscar or a lot of Oscars. One will be an actor or a movie that got snubbed for the Oscars. And in some of these cases, it's going to be a tough decision between which one you guys choose. I'm going to ask each one of you guys. Okay, you guys can do this one of two ways. I'll either give you guys one each and we'll go down the line, or you guys can answer it as a team. The problem with answering as a team is that if you guys split the vote, then I am the decider.
I like that one.
Okay, that sounds fun.
All right. You guys are going to approach it as a team. All right. This is called bracket bid. This is Oscar winners versus Oscar snubs. All right. In the top spot, we have Titanic with 11 Oscars, or It's a Wonderful Life that somehow got snubbed and is one of the most classic movies of all time. It did not win Best Oscar. So I ask you, Shelly, Titanic or It's a Wonderful Life?
Titanic.
Rosa.
Titanic.
Mark.
Yeah, Titanic.
And Mr. Davison.
Titanic. Yeah.
So it will go on. Sorry, had to do it. All right.
The other one every year. So
next one.
Forrest Gump, who won against Best. Forrest Gump beat both of these movies. It beat Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
Forrest Gump beat both of these movies.
Yep. I know what I got to do.
Randy.
Shawshank.
This is Shawshank. Mark.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Well, yeah, they're a tag team in this one. They're a tag team.
Oh, get both? Oh, yes.
Pulp Redemption.
Rosa.
Same. Pulp Fiction.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry for Forrest Gump could be one of the least deserving best Oscar, but again,
I don't know about that, but it was a very competitive year.
But if Mank was competing against Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank, Mank would have won. But that would have been in 1990, whatever. You know what I mean? Today, Pulp Fiction would win or Shawshank.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Yeah. So this is why I thought this was funny, because I said Nick Cage in Leaving Las Vegas or Nick Cage in any other movie. So this is Oscar-winning Nick Cage.
You're moving Nicolas Cage forward no matter what.
This is so you guys got to choose between Oscar-winning Nick Cage or Mandy Nick Cage, which I thought Mandy. Side note, and don't do drugs, kids. But if you do hard drugs, I recommend watching either Hobo with a Shotgun or Mandy. This has been What Should You Do? What movie should you watch when you do hard drugs? Please don't, though. Don't do hard drugs. But if you do.
I
Sorry.
gotta admit, I ate a gummy when I watched Mandy.
And what I mean by hard drugs is marijuana, obviously. But all right, so still the question remains: Nick Cage and Leaving Las Vegas, who we won an Oscar for, or Nick Cage and any. I love Leaving Las Vegas so much that I've watched every other Mike Figgis movie, including Time Code, after that. And I'm a Mike Figgis fanboy. So Nick Cage and Leaving Las Vegas, or Nick Cage in any other movie, Shelly?
In any other movie.
Rosa.
In any other movie.
Mark Atkinson.
Oh, any other movie? I mean, The Rock. Come on.
All right. You guys are moving. Tugging. You guys are hurting me here. All right. Katharine Hepburn was nominated for 12 Oscars, and she won. I believe she won 4.
Okay.
Glenn Close never won an Oscar so far.
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close. Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn.
Overrated.
Really? That's a hot take.
Really? Wow.
That's a mild take by Mr. Atkinson. Rosa, let's start it off with you this time. Katharine Hepburn or Glenn Close? You mean you're studying cinema? I know you've watched some of her classics.
Yes.
Breakfast at Tiffany's? No, that's not her. I'm just kidding. I got it. Yeah. Katharine Hepburn or Glenn Close?
I'm gonna go with Glenn Close.
Shelly?
Wow.
Shelly
She might
loves
have a Razzie,
Shelly loves old Hollywood.
And I love Glenn Close. Like, she's one of my favorites.
She's solid.
No, I'm gonna stay with Katharine Hepburn.
She didn't win it for burning that bunny alive? Did she get nominated?
Fatal Attraction.
For the movie with Fatal Attraction? Did she get nominated?
I think she did, right?
Nominated, okay.
She had to. All right, Randy and Mark, what do you guys think? Glenn Close or Katharine Hepburn? You already said she was overrated, so I'm assuming you're going with Glenn Close.
I thought if I went after an old Hollywood icon, I might win someone's approval.
All right, and Randy?
I'm gonna stick with Hepburn. So.
All right, so that means it's a split, right? Because Shelly, what'd you say? You said Hepburn or Glenn Close?
Hepburn.
Hepburn, close. All right, that means I'm the decider, and I loved the portrayal of Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator, but I do remember thinking Glenn Close was good at acting in things that I've seen her before.
Yeah.
Wasn't she like Cruella DeVille? Was she Cruella DeVille?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Cruella DeVille. All right. The Departed and the Oscar that should have never been, or any movie in the Scorsese verse.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an easy. This is an easy one. Anybody? Wait, Mark Atkinson might be voting for The Departed. Mark, give me a case for The Departed.
No, I don't know. The Departed's awesome. I mean, I'm definitely Scorsese verse, but the King of Comedy, Goodfellas, Casino. But that year, I think he deserved it. No.
Who was he up against?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, you got to tell me who he was up against, but Shelly, you'll look that up. All right, but we're moving Scorsese verse on.
Okay.
The Departed, like I said, if I could win a movie, I think only Martin Scorsese could win an Oscar for like his 8th best movie. Like, right? Like King of Comedy, like you said, Casino. Like
Cape Fear.
Goodfellas, yeah.
Cape Fear. I mean, he had the Cape Fear. He was in his long dissolve. I mean, he's always been in his long dissolve phase. All right, Pam Grier getting robbed. No nomination for Jackie Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, or The English Patient.
Pam Grier. Come on.
Rosa.
Yeah, Pam Grier.
The English Patient sucked. Let's go. Just go ahead. Can we just say that? Has it been long enough since it won his Oscar? Just be like, The English Patient
It's a war fest. Did Robert Forster get nominated?
I mean, like I said, it was beautiful. It was great. It was shot. It was in the countryside. It was during a war. It had all the elements that would make it an Oscar-winning film, and yet, I kind of think it still sucked. All right. Also, 1977 was a tough year for movies. That was another Murderer's Row for Best Picture, but Rocky.
Oh yeah,
Rocky won in 1977. It's definitely an incredible movie, but we're not sure if Rocky 1977 is the super deserving. Stanley Kubrick never won an Oscar.
Give it to Kubrick.
Kubrick.
Yeah,
this is a new one.
Rocky was great, but that was like the dark horse win right there. That was so unexpected.
Who's got his head frozen?
Ooh.
In case we can, who's got a frozen head and 59 Oscar nominations?
Good old bigot.
That's good. Who's that guy? Walt Disney. 59 Oscar nominations. 26 Oscar wins. Judy Garland got a child honorary Oscar
for The Wizard of Oz.
For The Wizard of Oz, but then was in a ton of other movies and never won an Oscar. No Oscar
really good
versus.
All
right, so Judy Garland versus the frozen head guy.
I go with Judy. I really like her.
Same.
She was really good as Renee Zellweger last year.
Yeah, there was a movie about her.
Chameleon.
All right, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King for some reason won 11 Oscars. Tom Cruise always has hard luck. Has not won an Oscar yet. Rosa, will Tom Cruise win an Oscar at some point in his career?
I don't think of Tom Cruise as an Oscar caliber actor. Maybe honorary Oscar, like the Jackie Chan kind of thing.
He was a dramatic actor, like up until 20 years ago. But
Magnolia,
about last night.
Although
Born on the 4th of July.
His role in Tropic Thunder, I'm gonna go Tom Cruise. When he played Scott Rudin.
Yeah, over Lord of the Rings.
I mean, Lord of the Rings, though. I'm going with Lord of the Rings.
I'm so happy for that.
I'm going with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, and Mark, you're going to go with Tom Cruise and Randy?
Mr. Couch Jumper.
Lord of the Rings. I remember how happy I was when it won all those movies because it was a movie for the people. It's like, wow, something that everyone actually loved. Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Lord of the Rings moves on. And just checking this out, Tom Cruise was nominated for Born on the 4th of July in 1990. Jerry Maguire, 1997, and Magnolia in 2000. I was about to say Best Actor for Jerry and Best Actor for Born on the 4th. If anything, he would have. He would have won it for 4th of July. I think that was a powerful performance at the time.
Okay, so here are the nominees the same year that Martin Scorsese was won for The Departed.
All right.
So Stephen Frears for The Queen, Alejandro González Iñárritu for Babel, Paul Greengrass for United 93, and Clint Eastwood for Letters from Iwo Jima.
Wow, I thought
that is a soft class.
It is.
Definitely he deserved it that year.
Man,
I don't mind it going to Scorsese, really.
Yeah, if there was a year to see like, you won it this year, but like we never. But it's kind of like a combination of like, okay, The Departed was better than all of those.
Yeah.
I guess Babel because of like the topic, but
no.
But Babel's like LA Story, like a bunch of stuff happening in different places. It needed to be a little tighter. Man, that's not. That's not.
It's kind of like Crash was like that too.
Maybe he's getting an Oscar for his 7th or 8th best movie, but But if that was the competition that year, like I can see how.
Yeah, they were like, "Whoop! Sorry, we gave it to Kevin Costner like 16 years ago." Here.
All right, John Ford is a Western director. He somehow won 4 Oscars. Not a documentary, Westerns. Alfred Hitchcock never won an Oscar.
Never won one.
Wow,
bullshit.
Let's make that right. Let's move him on here.
Yes.
Brokeback Mountain somehow lost to Crash. Crash, I think, is one of the worst movies that ever won an Oscar. It's so fucking corny.
Stupid.
It is cringy. I don't remember thinking anything or being I just felt like it was just cliche after cliche. And
Brokeback Mountain for sure. That film. I mean,
I just can't quit you.
Yeah. I can't quit you. I did like to see when Matt Damon saves Thandie Newton. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Roberto Benigni and Life is Beautiful. I guess. beat Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. Now I know Tom Hanks won a ton of Oscars, and this is like taking from the poor to give to the rich, like my dad says, hood Robin. But I was dating a girl once, and she dumped me for a guy that ran a movie theater, and she would go there every day to watch this fucking movie. So I don't like this movie for a personal reason because of a bad breakup story. So I would take that guy's Oscar away and give it to Tom Hanks, even though Tom Hanks
wouldn't.
already. So where do you guys fall on that one?
I stay with Roberto.
Roberto Benigni, Rosa?
Yeah.
This is tough. Probably Roberto.
Roberto Benigni, and then Mark and Randy?
I mean, that's not his best role.
Right.
No, it's
All
much better than Pinocchio.
So you guys are going with Benigni as well?
Um,
All right. Roberto Benigni moves on. Tom Hanks, he's already has one. He's not. He's gonna go.
So many. It's like
He's gonna cry like this with one Oscar in each hand. Wham! I didn't get an Oscar for Saving Private Ryan. Wham! All right.
This next one, like
this is the one that you. This is the one that you brought. This is the one that. Well, here's where we can give it back to him. We have Saving Private Ryan losing to Shakespeare in Love.
Oh yeah, flip flop that.
All right. Are we righting this wrong of society here, everybody? Or are you okay? Rosa seems a little apprehensive. You like Shakespeare in Love, Rosa?
No, we can just sing a prayer.
All right. Making sure. All right, this is Jeffrey Wright, not nominated for Basquiat, one of my favorite movies of all time, or Driving Miss Daisy.
Haven't seen either, but I'm gonna go with Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Let's go with Jeffrey Wright on this one. Is that all right with you guys? All right. This is okay. Al Pacino won an Oscar for Sense of a Woman. This is, like I said, like Scorsese winning for The Departed. At this point, the thing that people say about Sense of a Woman is that it's Pacino playing a version of himself. He's over the top. It's almost, this is where Pacino becomes a character of himself in like subsequent movies, right? This is the turning point. He wins an Oscar, so he does a thing, and then he gets. You don't give the dog praise for taking a poop. You know, he does something. They give him an Oscar for it, and then he's like, "Hey,
look at that and everything.
I'm in the amazing business."
Also, me and Mr. Pacino share a birthday. As I've said a million times, when I met him, I said, "Hey, Mr. Pacino, we share a birthday, you and I." And he shook my hand and said, "Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you. Good for
I've
you."
heard that story 3 times. And I get
I saw him at a health food store, and he's, "Hey, Pacino's here," and I was like, he's got the same birthday. Hey, Mr. Pacino, hey, we got the same birthday. Good for you.
I did the same thing to Curtis Armstrong, who plays Booger in Revenge of the Nerds.
So should Al Pacino have won an Oscar? He did win the Oscar. Denzel in Malcolm X was who he was up against, and they still gave it to Al Pacino. Was it a payback for Serpico and all his other stuff, The Godfathers, etc., or did he not deserve it and should have gone to Denzel? Randy?
Denzel probably should have been nominated that year.
Shelly? Well, he was nominated. He lost to it.
I got to throw in there. That was one of my first film auditions. Was the Chris O'Donnell role in Son of a Woman. It was like a college search. I was in college at the time. They were going around auditioning college students in theater programs.
Nice. Well, he was a first actor. Mark?
I have to go with Pacino. It's so fun to say "hoo-ah."
Okay. Rosa? That logic is as sound as any?
Going with Denzel.
Denzel and Shelly.
Yeah, me too.
Denzel. All right. Who no? All right. Citizen Kane, which Mank was about.
Yeah.
Because I know about that. Didn't win an Oscar. Didn't get an Oscar. It lost to How Green Is My Valley or something like that, or The Green something, some movie that nobody. Something about it.
Best screenplay.
Best screenplay. Ben-Hur won 11 Oscars, tied with Titanic and Lord of the Rings for the movies that won the most Oscars. Those are the top.
Yeah,
three.
but very different times, though.
Yeah.
Well, Lord of the Rings is pretty modern, and when did Lord of the Rings, like 2013 or something like that, win all those Oscars?
No,
2003.
2003. Okay, damn. We are getting old. All right.
Yes, we
Still, Citizen Kane or Ben-Hur?
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, gotta go with my boy, Orson.
Gotta go with Gorn and Mank.
Yeah.
Shelly and Rosa.
Yeah.
No, I'll stay with the 11 Oscars.
All right, so that's 3-1 with one Ben-Hur vote.
It was pretty epic for its time.
All right. The good thing about the second round is now you've made your choices. Now you have to live with the decisions that you've made, and now the decisions get tougher. So real quickly, getting through the second round, we have Titanic or Pulp Fiction and Shawshank. Shelly.
Titanic.
Oh.
Rosa.
Pulp Fiction.
Mark Atkinson.
Pulp Fiction.
Randy.
Pulp Fiction.
I mean, it's a better film, I know, but still, I can't vote against my favorite, like the first film that made me feel something, fall in love on movie theater. I can't vote against it.
The feels.
That again. This is another story that I've told. But I saw Pulp Fiction with my mom, and I saw Pulp Fiction with two girls that I was dating at the same time, all within a week's time. So I sat through that movie 3 times within the first 10 days that was out.
It took me 2 watches. Like the first watch, I was like, "What did I just see?" The second time, I was like, "This is fucking amazing."
Yeah, it's amazing.
And there were no smartphones to stay busy. I had to pretend like I was into them. Okay, it was a bad time. All right, Nick Cage in anything other than Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh God, is there even a question?
Or Glenn Close?
Is there a question?
I don't know. It depends on who you're asking to. For me, there's not, but maybe for you there
I
is.
Nicolas Cage. I don't know.
All right,
Glenn Close, 100%.
Rosa.
I'm not the biggest Nick Cage fan, so I probably would go for Glenn Close.
Randy.
How many votes we have? It'd be fun to just move Nicolas Cage up forward against.
Well, if you say Nick Cage, then it's a tie.
Oh.
And then I'll be the decider there.
Which would be Nick Cage.
Spoof of himself now, like Pacino.
No, he is now, but like remember, like when he's working out with a girl,
Raising Arizona.
I love Mark
Arizona.
aiming for Nicolas Cage.
Andy.
Kiss of the Spider. Let's move Nick Cage up to mix it up.
All right, let's move Nick Cage. I'll be the tie-breaking vote, and I'll do that. That's hot praise. I even like the Nick Cage impersonation.
This is like Glenn Close keeps losing.
Glenn Close just lost again. This time to Nick Cage. Wow. All right, the Scorsese verse or Pam Grier?
Scorsese.
Yeah.
All right, Scorsese. Yeah. All right, Stanley Kubrick or Judy Garland?
Kubrick.
Yeah.
Kubrick.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Judy. Lord of the Rings or Alfred Hitchcock?
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Randy?
Hitchcock deserves something. I mean, he never even got an honorary Oscar posthumously.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, those don't.
That was one of the earliest masters of our craft here. Shelly?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Alfred's fine.
Hitchcock.
Alfie.
I mean,
Alfie.
Rosa, you want to be just go on the record as voting for Lord of the Rings?
No. I have to go for Hitchcock.
All right, making sure because you seemed a little pain there. I wanted to make sure. Brokeback Mountain or Roberto Benigni in Life is Beautiful?
Brokeback.
For me, Brokeback.
Brokeback, yeah.
Ang Lee is underrated. Ang Lee underrated or properly rated as a director?
He's properly rated. What was his last movie?
I don't know. You tell me.
Was it the one with Will Smith, like Gemini Man?
Ugh.
No,
don't quote me. Don't quote
John
me.
Woo, I think.
And the Hulk?
Was it Emily?
All right. Saving Private Ryan or Jeffrey Wright? Or Jeffrey Wright in Basquiat? Saving Private Ryan?
Saving Private Ryan?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's up to you guys. Shelly?
Sure.
Wow.
I mean, that was not who I would choose, but like I said, I create the bracket. You guys fill it out. Whatever your thought process is always open. And like I said, it's created for maximum pain. Denzel in Malcolm X or Citizen Kane? Shelly?
Hmm.
Who was more deserving of that Oscar, Denzel and Malcolm? The year that,
Or the film?
or the film Citizen Kane that lost to some movie nobody remembered, or Denzel who lost to Al Pacino overacting.
Hooah!
Hoorah!
Hooah!
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Rosa.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, I don't know. Wait.
I'm gonna go with Denzel.
Denzel. Mark.
I'm gonna go with Denzel too. Even though I
Randy?
wanted to win the last time, I switched it up. I like that out.
Well, Denzel's got a couple already, and he's had way more powerful performances than Malcolm X.
So
He's
you
good.
going Citizen Kane?
Yeah, it's got a
You're
good.
just saying it because you're in Mank.
All right, that's two to
Part of it.
that's 2-2.
I'm fine.
And you know what? Denzel should have gotten for this. I think we take away Denzel's Oscar for Training Day, and we give that one to Al Pacino. Al Pacino for The Godfather. Then we take Al Pacino. Then we take Al Pacino's Oscar for Sense of the Woman, and we give that to Denzel. All right, everybody cool with that? All right, we're moving on. We're just switching them up, just making things right in the world. This is how we do it. All right.
Can you still say "hooah" in The Godfather?
You can still say "hooah." Denzel and Malcolm X or Saving Private Ryan.
They're so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you scroll up or something. It's like I can't see. Oh,
We're on this part of the bracket here, guy.
all right, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought I was missing more than that.
Saving Private Ryan or Denzel in Malcolm X. The first, just for sound design, the first 15, 20 minutes, people were getting triggered and looking at a theater. Veterans were saying it was so realistic.
Yeah.
I think, and I agreed. I think David Rains or somebody had posted this that The Thin Red Line was also one of the films that was in their consideration that year.
I love that one though.
Yeah,
I love The Thin Red Line.
Oh, Adrian Brody in that movie.
The Thin Red Line is the most direct influence on The Bicycle Thief that I made. It's probably the movie that influenced what I wanted to do with Bicycle Thief the most.
Yeah.
So I think that it would have probably been more deserving than Saving Private Ryan that year. But Saving Private Ryan didn't win. Shakespeare in Love won. And now Saving Private Ryan, who didn't win an Oscar, is up against Denzel and Malcolm X, who also didn't win an Oscar. So, Randy Davison, Denzel or Spielberg? And Spielberg already has Oscars, right?
Yeah, they both have Oscars, huh? Between the two, that's tough. Okay, so it's not Tom Hanks against Denzel. It's the movie itself against Denzel and Malcolm X.
For the bracket bet, we must suspend disbelief.
I'm going to say Saving Private Ryan. It was just
all right, Mark Atkinson.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
Rosa, Saving Private Ryan. Rosa, is it unanimous?
Not to be confused with Saving Private Ryan, which is a whole different movie.
Ang Lee, Brokeback Mountain, or Alfred Hitchcock, body of work. Rosa.
Hitchcock.
Shelly.
Hitchcock.
All right. Scorsese verse other than Departed or Stanley Kubrick. What body of work?
Are you kidding me?
What body of work is more deserving? The Shining or the gangster universe that Scorsese created?
That's like trying to choose like barbecue ribs and spaghetti. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go ribs.
Scorsese. Right, let's go with. All right. Mark says Scorsese. Rosa, what do you say?
Also Scorsese.
Shelly.
Scorsese's supposed to be spaghetti in that analogy.
Shelly, you said earlier. That The Shining was the Oscar that you would give it, right? This is the one you gave as your opinion. So,
well, yeah, but I'm talking about it's one film within like that year but talking about all like it's their body of it just
This is basically Kubrick versus Scorsese if you pretend that The Departed doesn't exist. Let's say The Departed was never made, so they both have the body of work that they have, and only one of them can have an Oscar. Scorsese or Kubrick? Who are you giving it to you if The Departed never happened? Leo's schedule was off, so they ended up shelving it. Paul Thomas Anderson ended up doing it.
What if interesting?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see what Paul Thomas Anderson would have done.
I want to see the storyboards for that.
Release the Paul Thomas Anderson cut. Sorry. All right. So again, this is the basics of this question. The Departed doesn't exist. It's Scorsese's body of work versus Kubrick's body of work. Mark Atkinson, are you staying with Scorsese?
Oh, definitely.
Randy.
Casino.
Yeah, no. I'm Goodfellas is one of my favorite movies. I got it.
Oh, Taxi Driver.
I know.
All right. Shelly, Rosa.
No, I'm gonna go with Kubrick.
And Rosa, you're staying with Scorsese?
Scorsese, yeah.
I can't say no to Kubrick. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one, man. Pulp Fiction and The Shawshank Redemption versus Nick Cage in any other movie.
What if Nick Cage is that far?
All right, dude, I don't know. This is what happens. All right, so we'll pick you guys with Pulp Fiction here. All right,
I wish Nicolas Cage was in Pulp Fiction.
All right, so now we come to. All right, do we have any?
Vega.
All right, hey, we got all non-Oscar winners. So if our goal was to figure out whether between Oscar winners that actually won Oscars or Oscar people that were nominated, were there movies that we liked? Yeah, absolutely. But there's also a lot of movies that were snubbed or performances that were snubbed. And we're left with this final four. Pulp Fiction or Shawshank Redemption versus, all right, what's more deserving of the Oscars? All of Scorsese's movies other than Departed, or these two I think Rosa. I think that Rosa dipped out. Or these two incredible movies that came out the same year and were both snubbed because of another. Let me get her back on. Because of another performance. Let's go with Shelly.
Are you kidding me? I just went through this.
I mean, you could. All right, yeah. Look at it this way. I don't know, man. Like, let's say you only could take like,
2
DVDs with you.
Yeah.
Would you rather take like Pulp Fiction and Shawshank, or would you take like Casino and Taxi Driver, or Goodfellas and
Exactly.
Like
that is the question.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah, the Scorsese criteria.
You're only allowed 2 Scorsese DVDs, huh?
Yeah, there you go. That's a better stipulation.
Well, yeah, I guess in essence, yeah, that would be one way to do it. Or would you rather watch Pulp Fiction and Shawshank back to back over and over, or go through the Scorsese collection? Although they are a couple of like lower tiered ones, I would say. No duds, but I could watch.
No, I'm gonna say Scorsese because it's a body of work.
It's a body of work. All right.
Yeah.
And all right, Randy. Mark.
I think I can go with both of them, Pulp Fiction and Shawshank.
Yeah, they're a tag
team. I get where Shelley's coming from. It's a really hard choice, but if pressed, I might have to go with Shawshank.
All right, 1-1, Randy.
I'm gonna go with Pulp Fiction and Shawshank. Shawshank is probably
2-1.
I would venture to say it's my favorite movie of all time. I watch it all the time.
Okay, 2-1. Shawshank and Pulp Fiction. Rosa.
I'm gonna go with Scorsese.
Scorsese. Oof.
Ooh, I bet that.
Yeah, this one's hard. You gotta decide.
It is hard for sure. I love Scorsese.
I hate this because then the pain gets inflicted on me.
Yeah.
Now you know how we feel.
Maximum. Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I don't like it. I create the bracket for maximum pain, and when I have to be the tiebreaker, I feel the pain.
I mean, Goodfellas is so damn good, so.
Yeah, that's probably number 2 all time.
Scorsese's dips. I don't know, man. Even Mean Streets. I can watch.
I love Hugo.
Yeah, I would skip Hugo. And skip like the other Pacino movie there's a couple that I'm like, yeah, I get it.
The Irishman.
Ignore the Irishman.
Right.
Yeah, that was on the list.
Or like the first 3 hours.
All right, here's the facts. He did win an Oscar. Right? So if we're talking about the non-Oscar winning Scorsese verse, they got gypped a lot of times. They were up against movies in interesting years.
Yeah.
There's no way Goodfellas, Casino, Wolf of Wall Street. One of those three
Oh,
films.
damn. Forgot about
You
that
know,
one.
yeah,
Is
I
Hugo
forgot.
the only director? How many times did he win Best Director for Departed or for Hugo?
Best director for Hugo.
Oh, I might even
No,
have
no,
to-
for he won
Departed.
Departed.
Didn't Hugo win something?
I think Hugo won something, but I don't know. I don't think it was best director.
Oh, okay.
Pulp Fiction is as close to a perfect movie. Tarantino's a beast. Shawshank, like I said, was ruined for me. But I think that we're gonna move the Scorsese none. But this is like whether who should we award and who deserves an Oscar more, Pulp Fiction and Shawshank, or the movies that Scorsese doesn't have. And I just remembered about the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
that,
the Wolf.
that put it over the top.
That
All
is
right, and then the other one we have Alfred Hitchcock, the man that has been copied so much by thrillers. Like you still go back. Like if I was gonna make a thriller, I would watch every Scorsese movie. I mean, every Scorsese movie either way, but every Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Yeah.
They remade one of his movies shot for shot. They didn't even like redo it. Like let's do it. They said this shit was so good, we're gonna remake it shot for shot. He did 37 individual angles on that shower scene. 37 individual setups.
Wow.
That would have been a bitch to edit.
You're really selling out for Hitchcock here.
No, I'm 100% with Hitchcock. There's no question.
Yeah, same.
Hitchcock for this round.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right, Hitchcock. All right, and then that brings it to this. In a universe where The Departed doesn't exist.
Why can't it exist, by the way? Because it doesn't. Because it got.
You are part of the new team at the Oscars, and they're like, "It's down to you. We can give only one Oscar. We have one Oscar left, and we can give it to Alfred Hitchcock's body of work or Martin Scorsese's body of work."
All right.
I knew a film reviewer whose email was Martin Scorsese is God or Scorsese is God, something like that, or that was his handle. Scorsese or Alfred Hitchcock. This is the final. This is we get to give one Oscar.
This is the most ridiculous conversation ever. Like, how do you Scorsese? I mean, yeah.
For scientific purposes, we have to figure out if we could give one Oscar. And you guys are all fans of film, reviewers of film, actors. All right, we're gonna stop with Rosa.
I'm gonna go Hitchcock because he never won for Best Director. Scorsese did.
Ooh.
Okay. This is like the judge telling the jury not to listen to certain parts, but you ignored my request to pretend The Departed never existed. But okay, you're still going with Scorsese. I mean, you're going with Hitchcock.
With Hitchcock, yeah.
All right, Randy.
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, a lot of Hitchcock was revolutionary, but there's some amazing films. His movies are more in the entertainment realm. So if you were making movies today, he'd be like he'd be more like a Spielberg, but Spielberg has Oscars too. So, yeah.
Or he'd be like.
I'm gonna have to go with Scorsese.
He's the reason directors make cameos in their movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Scorsese.
All right, that's 1-1. Atkinson,
which isn't always the best thing.
Mr. Atkinson, what are you thinking? Take us through your thought process.
Oh, yes. Speaking of cameos, you were good in your Bicycle Thief. Your little cameo.
Oh yeah.
I got what we call in the industry chops.
Solid actor.
I got it. Hey, thank you. And in another thing that's coming up called Insecurity that I'm putting some finishing touches on. I'm in
that too, Arnold.
Yeah, you're in there for a little bit. Mr. Randy Davison and I step into the ring together.
Yes.
Most people, it was a split decision. I think that Randy got the decision by the judges, but I got some points, and some people say it could have been a draw. Either way, I'm glad to have gotten into the ring with an Oscar for an actor from an Oscar-nominated film. I'm going to put that on my resume.
It was the heat of San Diego films, right?
It was, yeah. I mean, and again, I told Rosa this the other day. We love Heat so much that we wrote a scene that follows word count for word count. The exact back and forth pace of the Pacino De Niro scene from Heat. Yeah, Brian wrote a scene that is word count for word count. So it's a conversation between these two women, and it's just like Pacino and De Niro. I was going to shoot it exactly like they did, exact framing. And it's just going to be, it's part of like a 200-page script, but it's just a little thing there where it's what have you. And another side note here, a lot of people like to say that Pacino lost that battle, if you want to say who could win a scene between Pacino and De Niro. Hot take on this one is that the editor did not give Pacino the benefit of the doubt. If you remember the end of that scene, they have a great conversation. It's a draw, boom, boom, back and forth. They're going at it, this and that. And the last two shots are Pacino, and he's like, he gives him the thing, there's a flip side to that coin, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. And they're like, okay, boom, that's it. And then it's Pacino's face. No, it's De Niro's face. And then they cut to Pacino's face. And it's, if this was the time it spent on Pacino's face, on De Niro's face, it went past it, and they stayed too long on the final. And then Pacino, at the last second of that scene before they cut away, sort of cracks a little smile, like he breaks like a quarter of a second, like just the last part of that scene. That's the only. So I think they should have cut that like 3 seconds earlier, and then that would have been like no doubt about it. But people sort of, I don't know. That's just my take on it. Again, I've seen Heat way too many times.
When they made that, they weren't in the same scene, right? Didn't they shoot that with like doubles and shit?
No, they were there. They were there the whole time. Come on.
All right.
That's an urban legend. I've heard that too, but
I heard John Leguizamo talking about it, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Don't test my Heat knowledge.
Great ass,
Mr. Atkinson. Also, in earlier versions of the script, Pacino's character was doing coke every other scene. You could see him dipping into a little bag of coke. It was written into the script. It was written into the script that Pacino was a cop, but he was periodically, because he was up for 30 hours at a time.
You sure that wasn't written into the contract?
So it was written into the script. The director and the editor decided to cut all the dipping into the coke scenes out of the movie.
Wow.
So Pacino's performing a character and he's overacting because he's supposed to be coked up all the time.
He's supposed to be on coke.
But you don't get any of the context of those other scenes.
We just think it's Pacino doing instead of a woman. Hoo-ah!
So again, like I said, not to be a Pacino and Heat apologist, but I think that competition between who really ruled that sort of, that movie. I mean, De Niro is a fucking beast in that movie, but I think it's easier to play that understated role than to play the role that Pacino was going to play well. And I think those two things, I think the director and the editor didn't do, even though I love Michael Mann, didn't do him any favors on that. I'm sorry. Side rant over. All right. So final vote here. Shelly Rowe.
I'm waiting on Mark.
No, I think Rosa said Scorsese. Rosa said Hitchcock. Randy said Scorsese. Mark said
Scorsese. I mean, Hitchcock's got a great body of work, but I don't know. I don't think they hold up as well as you think they do, though. Have you seen a Hitchcock movie in the last couple of years?
What is it?
But it's a different time. Wait, but you're comparing apples to oranges, though.
I rewatch Psycho periodically, and North by Northwest, and
I watched that last summer. And I was like, it's fun for its time, but I don't think it's. But you're right. Apples and oranges.
There's still ingrained techniques and like language of cinema stuff that he created or perfected. Like he's like he's like the Picasso of film directors, because you can't be a cubist or like an abstract artist. They're like, oh, he's an expert. You create. Sometimes you're so good that you create a language.
Right.
Didn't he create that shot where it's like on the person's face, and then like the camera like zooms like the background kind of zooms. Like, is that Hitchcock?
That's the Valley shot.
Yeah, he literally created a large percentage of the language of cinema.
Yeah.
But Scorsese took those fucking rules and just taught a master class in it and did like long dissolves and did, and then fucking just was one of the first people that didn't do a score but created a soundtrack to a movie.
Yeah.
Scorsese is in anybody's top 3, and Hitchcock is an icon. So, the question remains, in this universe that I've created where The Departed doesn't exist, and you guys get a choice on this, who do you think is more deserving there? Hitchcock. Or Hitchcock? All right. So
I'm going to stay with Hitchcock.
All right, that's 2-2.
Oh,
that's putting me in a tough spot here.
Roll.
Right, because Rosa said Hitchcock, Randy and Mark said Scorsese, and Shelly said Hitchcock too.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to break my own rules here. I do know that Scorsese eventually won an Oscar, even though it's for his 8th best film. The fact that Alfred Hitchcock didn't win a fucking Oscar is a travesty.
It is.
It is a fucking travesty.
Yes.
And if I could go and do the math and take Oscars from different people that deserve it and give it to other people and go this and do the math, I would make sure that Alfred Hitchcock got a fucking Oscar. And if he doesn't, they should melt 2 or 3 Oscars into like bouillon and like pour it into his casket, or like build something next to him or something like that. Or they should make, to be a little bit more inclusive of maybe some fat people, how about we make the Oscar into Alfred Hitchcock shape with a nice little belly?
Wait, but I like the Oscar being El Indio Fernandez. I like that.
Who is it?
El Indio Fernandez, a Mexican actor. That's his body. That's who they cast the Oscar after. Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's
All right, so we're gonna give it to Al. We're gonna give this Oscar to Alfred Hitchcock.
Ooh, I feel good about it.
Thank you.
I'm not a red herring. I'm an ad man.
And in the end,
I got a girlfriend, a mother, a secretary, and a bartender that are always counting on me, and I'm not about to get myself likely killed. Did I do that right? I don't know.
And in the end, I had to make the final decision in my own bracket. So, I thank you guys for that. Anyway, we've done 2 hours and 45 minutes talking about movies and the Oscars.
Not at all.
Give yourselves a pat on the back because we've done the thing and we did a good job. All right. I will let you guys know once you guys fill out your sheets and stuff who wins, and I will be sending whoever the winner is a replica Oscar in the mail. And also fill out your forms so that you guys can be part of the pool. Thank you, everybody who watched. Have fun watching the Oscars on Sunday. I'll repost this before then so that people can watch it, if anything, maybe Saturday or Sunday before the Oscars, and just in case you don't know who to vote for.
Yeah, it was all the pieces that they shot already were shot on film, and it's going to be shot on film because they want it to look like film. So it's going to be an interesting kind of experiment. So you should watch it.
Oh, they shot
the entire show is going to be shot on film. Yeah.
And they refuse to have any Zoom. There's no Zoom awards. It's going to be, they have to come
in person.
So fucking tired of Zoom.
Are they gonna wait? So is it gonna be like a waiting area where all the nominees are to get the thing, or it's like, it's a socially distanced Oscar?
No.
All the nominees are in this inside.
In the bubble? Oh my God! It's a bubble Oscars. Oh.
Yeah.
Perhaps I can use my skills to break into the bubble.
And it is my birthday on Sunday, so I will be hanging out. Yeah, I'll get to watch some Oscars. Maybe I'll win a little money in our Oscar pool. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you guys again for sticking around and for going through the categories. I think it's a weird time for cinema right now. Obviously, because I think they just announced that like Sony movies are going to be going somewhere to Disney Plus, as well. So it's weird what movies are going to be at. But I know that we are all going to be part of that industry, from Randy and eventually getting and Shelly being in festivals, and Mark doing, acting as well, and Rosa doing reviews, and me directing some of you guys in movies. So I think we just got to embrace the changes and shit and what's going to happen in the industry, and see. Hopefully, even if it's a little smaller with less theater, I guess, experience for right now, maybe that'll allow people to make smaller movies that don't have such a high degree of need to do out. That'll give more people more voices to be able to make smaller films, tell different stories, and that's my goal for the industries moving forward. And I still think that the over under on how many Oscars I'll win before my career is over is 2.5. Let's all take the over on that one. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody have a good Oscars. Take it easy. Peace out. Have a good night.
Racket
Yeah, thanks for sticking around.
Hoo-ah!